brothers sold me as a slave to Jatour, the slave trader.
Your own brothers? They sold you? What is your name, boy?
My name is Joseph, sir. I miss my mother and my father terribly. I miss my family, my brother Benjamin, and my sister Dina.
We bring you a weekly health show where we will give you an opportunity to learn about some of the common illnesses and even how to avoid them, to help you make an informed health decision and even get some important information regarding how to improve your health. Every week, we will be joined by health experts within their own field, even as we discuss preventions to health issues. Your Health Show every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. with me, Purity Museo, only on KBC.
By the power given to me, I now declare Makoa na Roslyn as husband and wife. Makoa, you can kiss your bride.
Wow.
Wewe ulisema hapo mbele fisi ndio yuko na tamaa between mimi na huyu nani fisi.
Na kwa nini wewe unakubali kwenda kupanga njama ya mtu mwingine atolewe roho kwa sababu wewe upate pesa?
Hatuko tumemaliza.
Alafu naye huyu mama pia huna hata haya mbele ya koti.
Huyu anyongo mheshimiwa.
Washtakiwa?
Huyu anyongo.
Fantastic, fantastic. Hello there, how are you? Good morning. It's Thursday, 23rd of September 2021. How are you doing wherever you're watching from? This is KBC Channel 1 and the show on right now is Good Morning Kenya. From whichever part of the country or even across our borders, we welcome you to the program because you are our person. We ni mtu wetu, all right? My name is Victor Lo and welcome to the program. We have got so much as usual lined up for you. We have got newspaper to do for your review. Regina, our lady from the other side of the mountain, is also on standby to give us the best on what's happening on the news. And Doreen, our traffic marshal, had to flag off today, I don't know how. But before then, Jen.
Mimi sina intro, guy. Corruption.
Jen, but before then,
corruption.
Jen.
Hi.
You're my side hustle.
Yeah. Oh, we are in awe.
Oh my.
No, because you're sitting.
Oh my God.
Oh,
you're sitting by my side.
Oh God.
That's what I mean. You're sitting
oh
by
my God.
Nitoke kwa set.
No. You're sitting by my side.
Victor, you have been gagged for the rest of this discussion.
Victor, please take it again.
You are on my right. You are on my right side of the law.
Wait. Hey.
All right.
You.
Jane,
you are
on
the right side of Olo.
Of Olo. So don't worry. I got you covered.
Nimeacha kukach.
Tafadhali.
Sijatoka nyakach.
Allah. It's drifting. I see when you spiral.
This conversation is taking a whole different turn.
Acha tu nisalimiane.
And Doreen,
hi.
From Nyakach, that traffic heading to Meru.
Ikienda Meru.
Did you hear what I said?
On the final destination.
I know of a different destination. Somewhere Thika Road, Thika.
Huko kuna destination inaendwa anytime soon.
Iko. Back left.
Hiyo ndio the next one.
Back
Na
left.
nimekuwa nikigusia side sana by the way of late.
Tutaona kama barabara inaendelea vizuri.
All right.
But nonetheless, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya. I am Jane Wamboi. Glad you, as always, man, we are glad that you choose to start your morning with us right here on KBC Channel 1. And as we always say, it is the only way to start your morning. Doreen.
And you forgot to say that Thursday is the new Friday.
Sasa ndio unasema.
Ndio hiyo sasa. You're right.
Of course, and like kama kawaida, we always appreciate you for making time. We don't take it for granted from 6:30 up until 10 a.m. every Monday through Thursday, and we give you nothing but the best. And of course, today, being an easy day, we have a lot lined up for you. What will be happening on the roads, as well as the different various interviews that we'll be having on our entertainment segment. Many thanks for making time. I'm Doreen Arange.
Well, before we get to Thika and, anyway, we are happy, glad that you could make time. We are not on the right side of Olo, but we are sure on the right side of
The law.
the law. Indeed.
Yeah.
Nice one, Vic.
Nice comeback.
Hey Vic, you're on a roll. Well, you're watching Good Morning Kenya, and as we said, Thursday is a new Friday, being the 23rd of September 2021. On the serious side of things is that we have so much lined up for you in as far as news is concerned. Remember, Dennis Itumbi, yes, a court verdict says now he has a case to answer, and that issue, or rather the case where he's charged with forgery of a letter alleging a plot against the second in command, that is Deputy President William Ruto, will go to full trial. Giving his verdict, that is Martha Mutuko Milimani, Chief Magistrate, she said, having analyzed the evidence before court, I find that the prosecution has proved a case to warrant the accused persons to be put on their defense. This and so much more will be coming up as we focus on those stories that have been making headlines in the last 24 hours. Remember that we are live and welcome your feedback. You can reach us on Twitter at KBC Channel 1 News, that's our official station handle. I on Twitter go by the name at Ray Manyara. We have at Doreen Arange, at Jane Wamboi, and at Victor Olo. Tell us where you're watching this particular broadcast from. We also want to know what you think about what is happening in the world of politics, given now that we have Governor Anne Waiguru ditching Uhuru's party. What next? That and so much more coming up in not too long. If you're tuning in, this is Good Morning Kenya. You're just in time for comprehensive news that have been making headlines in the last 24 hours. Now, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has cited political interference and budget cuts as the major drawbacks in their efforts to hold credible elections. Chairman Wafula Chebukati, however, insists they will uphold electoral integrity in next year's polls.
During a meeting with faith-based organizations to discuss areas of collaboration for the enhanced continuous voter registration exercise to be rolled out in October, Chebukati called on religious groups to take the lead in mobilizing eligible Kenyan voters to register and promote peace during the electioneering period.
Legal reforms must be completed at least by December this year. If we have amendments to the law late in the day, it will affect our election operation plan. So any amendments that complement our election operation plan must be done by December this year if they complement our election operation plan.
You hold a massive population in this country, and your voice is very important. So we are looking at you that you will help us mobilize to get people to register as voters.
Chebukati cited political interference and budget cuts as major challenges that undermine the Commission's credibility.
Our budget is 40.9 billion shillings, and yet the allocation we have been given is 26.5 billion. So, as a Commission, we are then exposed to the risk of underfunding.
While excluding confidence in conducting a credible election, Chebukati called for candid discussions on challenges facing the country.
Politicians and political parties always try to undermine the independence of the Commission during the elections and engage in false accusations of the Commission and its staff, thereby bending and damaging the image of the Commission well before elections are held.
The Commission is training constituency election coordinators and constituency administrative assistants who will then train registration clerks in enhanced continuous voter registration exercise.
Now, that is that. We are going to be conducting, credible elections come 2022. IEBC chairman there, Wafula Chebukati. Now, Treasury has released 2 billion shillings towards drought mitigation as directed by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa says the government will continue with the relief food supply and cash transfers to families in worst hit counties.
On Wednesday, Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa flagged off 32,000 bags of animal feeds to aid Kenyans facing drought in the country. The CS naming Wajir, Garissa, Mandera and Isiolo as the worst hit counties.
As we speak, 5 counties have gone into the alarm stage, meaning the drought is worsening with time. One of the biggest challenges is lack of water because of the failure of the short rains in October, December, and the long rains in March to May. We have no water in most of these areas for the animals and the residents affected.
To cushion the affected families and their livestock, Wamalwa says that the government had released 2 billion shillings to help the affected. So far, 1.5 billion shillings has been disbursed to the affected families through cash transfers.
Assure the affected counties and the people, particularly the most vulnerable families, that the government of Kenya will not spare any effort or resource in this response to ensure we cushion them against the devastating effects of this drought.
The livestock is the backbone of the pastoralist communities. And the main source of their incomes and livelihoods. Therefore, the really focus of our support as FAO in the context of the UN family to respond to the pastoral and the agro-pastoral communities and their immediate needs in terms of feed for their animals.
The United Nations and the European Union is set to boost Kenya's efforts to cushion families by donating 500 million shillings each, with China expected to donate rice.
Most of this food will ensure is transported immediately to the most affected counties.
Critics have come to say that Kenya is always ill-prepared to deal with such issues, yet drought is not something that just happens but takes a while to manifest. Well, we'll be keeping tabs on what government is doing in as far as mitigation measures are concerned. Now, the National Assembly Public Investment Committee wants former Kenya Medical Supplies Authority Chairperson Kembi Getura investigated for his role in the 7.8 billion shillings COVID-19 supplies scandal. The National Assembly Watchdog Committee probing the scandal also wants the Assets Recovery Agency to recover monies paid to suppliers who inflated prices of items supplied to KEMSA.
Almost 1 year after the impropriety in the acquisition of 7.8 billion shilling COVID-19 equipment, the National Assembly Public Investment Committee has tabled its report. The Watchdog Committee wants the EACC to investigate the KEMSA board on the role it played during the procurement of the COVID-19 items. MPs want the anti-graft body to probe the alleged interference by former chairperson Kembi Getura and former board member Joel Gesuka on the award of commitment letters to 2 suppliers.
We should not allow payments, first of all, for those who have not been paid, and even those who have been paid. These figures will now have to be relooked at. And we have all the evidence. We've provided everything in the report which the EACC can be able to use and the DPP can be able to use.
In the report tabled Wednesday, the Watchdog Committee want a multi-agency team from the government to probe the whole procurement process of the COVID-19 items. The report further implicates KEMSA's suspended CEO, Jonah Manjari, for signing commitment letters, an instrument not recognized in law, the Director of Procurement, Charles Juma, and Director of Finance, Waiganjo Karanja, for illegalities in awarding and payment of tenders.
There was we also took the responses from the presidential force team that had been put into place, you remember, regarding the COVID matters. So we looked at them, and this country can be able, if this report is going to be approved, this country can be able to save billions of shillings, and we don't necessarily have to lose.
Deputy President William Ruto has assured members of the United Democratic Alliance of fair nominations in the next year's general election. Ruto says all aspirants seeking to fly the party's flag of various positions should engage their voters directly.
The Deputy President has assured those seeking the UDA party ticket in the 2022 general election of free and fair nominations in April next year, when all parties are required to conduct their primary.
Kila mtu atapata opportunity katika hii chama ya UDA. Tutakuwa na free, fair, democratic nominations. Kila mtu apate nafasi.
Ruto called on the aspirants to engage the voters directly, as he would not have a say in the process.
Na wenye kuamua nani atakuwa cheo gani, nani atawania MCA, MP, wa mama county, senator, governor, wote wananchi wenyewe ndio wenye usemi wa mwisho. You don't have to be a friend of nobody. You don't have to know nobody. You only need to know the voter.
His allies accusing a section of the political leadership in the country of advancing sectarian politics through political parties.
Hiyo chama ambaye imeletwa, I don't know ni chama ama ni nini, inaitwa upya. Hiyo kitu sisi tumeikemea.
I am very convinced that for the first time in the history of our post-independence Kenya, we have the best candidate to move Kenya to a first world country. 2022 presidency will not be delivered by ethnic chieftains. It will be delivered by ordinary mwananchi. It will be delivered by hustlers. It will be delivered by young people like yourself.
The Deputy President, who met with youth from northeastern counties and Kiambu County, told the group that his bottom-up economic model will guarantee opportunities for all.
And up until we have a deliberate policy framework and deliberate programs that will deliver opportunity for young people in our nation to work or do business, it is not going to be business as usual until we have clarity.
Well, voters will speak. That is what Deputy President William Ruto is telling persons who want to vie for elective seats come the general elections 2022 under the UDA flag. Speak to the voters directly, hinting at no endorsement. We'll be keeping tabs on that. Still keeping up with matters politics, Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru has given the strongest hint yet that she may quit the Jubilee Party for the United Democratic Alliance. Speaking in Mwea, Waiguru said she's keen on obeying the wishes of her constituents, even if it means gravitating towards the Deputy President's camp.
Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru now says she'll heed to the call of area residents to ditch the Jubilee Party and defend her seat on the United Democratic Alliance party ticket.
Munataka nikuje na chama gani huku Kirinyaga? Nikuje na chama gani huku Kirinyaga? Nikikuja na hiyo chama mtanirudisha? Wangapi watanirudisha kwa kiti ya 2022?
Waiguru has been seen to be gravitating away from Jubilee following the defeat of the Building Bridges initiative. Waiguru has in the meantime taken a swipe at Nat Kenya party leader Martha Karua over the recent inroads into the cracks of Mount Kenya politics.
Kuna dada yangu mwingine ambaye niliangusha mwaka wa 2017, si ndio? Alikuwa amekuja tukangangana nikamwangusha. Sasa nasikia anarudi. Ati anataka kiti ya gavana ya 2017. Munataka nimwambie nini? Nimwambie nini? Nimwambie apumzike?
Meanwhile, Baringo Senator Gideon Moi now says the decision to front KANU's flag bearer in the 2022 general election will squarely be decided by the KANU National Delegates Conference scheduled for the 30th of September.
Delegates wataitwa Nairobi, tukutane, na ni delegates ya chama chetu cha KANU ambao wataamua ile njia ambayo KANU itafuata kwa kura ya 2022.
Kwa nasema Gideon atakimbia urais. Gideon afanyi. Gideon mlisikia mambo mengi sio? Lakini ametulia tu, amekimya na ngoja time.
Speaking in Kwale County, where he met over 300 KANU delegates, Moi said at the moment Okoa Kenya partners are strengthening their respective parties ahead of the general election.
That note, we take a quick breather. We'll be right back.
Him near you, my dearest son. And I don't have any doubt that he was the one who shot Victoriano. If you had listened to me, Vicente, you would still be alive. No. You wouldn't dare tell Emiliano.
Then don't try me.
No, don't come in. Victoriano! Victoriano! Victoriano, get me out of here! Victoriano!
He said that you hired me to get revenge on him.
I can't resist her, brother. Bella's stunning. Be careful moving. Bella is our father's woman. You are a disgrace to our house, a dishonor upon our family.
Stop it!
I want Dina to be my wife. I am a Hebrew, sir. I am here because my brother sold me as a slave to Jatur, the slave trader. Your own brothers? They sold you? What is your name, boy? My name is Joseph, sir. I miss my mother and my father terribly. I miss my family, my brother Benjamin, and my sister Dina.
Najua una wasiwasi na Badi, lakini hata yeye wakati wake utafika na nitamweka chini kama vile babake na dadake.
Una hakika?
Na bahati sana mume wangu hayuko, angekuwa mngenipigia saluti kuanzia getini mpaka huku ndani.
Nani babako hapa?
Kombo, wamtukana mgeni na maneno makali namna hiyo?
Haya si yako eh? Kwa hivyo mtoto ndio shida.
Malezi ni ya watu wawili. Kuna shida yote akiwa na wewe?
Morning, you're watching Good Morning Kenya. We're just bringing you up to speed with those stories that have been making headlines in the last 24 hours. We cross over to Homa Bay, where 5 more bodies have been retrieved from Lake Victoria at the Homa Bay Pier, raising the total number of confirmed fatalities in the Tuesday boat tragedy to 7. The recovery mission, which is being conducted by the Maritime and Coast Guards, assisted by local fishermen, is expected to end by close of business today. And as Chola Simon reports, questions have been raised over the safety of passengers relying on the vessels for travel between the mainland and the island.
Emotional scenes as this man receives and identifies the body of his mother that has just been retrieved from the lake. A few meters away, religious leaders are deep in prayer, hopeful that the bodies which sank to the bottom of the lake can float to hasten the much needed closure. 7 people have been confirmed dead, while the fate of 3 others remain unknown.
But we are still here with the whole team. Like I say, we brought in Kenya Maritime Authority yesterday. They arrived in the evening. Kenya Coast Guard are also there. The local fishermen have also volunteered helping with the search. So it's quite a large team, and I trust and believe that between today and the last day, as normally, it is a normally cumbersome exercise. It can take from 1 day to 4 days, 5 days. So we'll camp here until everybody is taken care of.
Statistics from the Maritime Authority indicate that at least 5,000 people die in the lake each year. While many factors will be at play, maritime officials say most lake users rarely put on the life jackets, which are mandatory requirement before venturing into the lake.
This is a jacket that will keep you afloat as long as it takes, and nobody will lose life. We may lose cargo can be bought, but we cannot replace life as a country, no.
The safety of some boats is also a concern. The government wants all lake users to adhere to the set rules and regulations.
This duty is not for me as Kenya Maritime Authority, it's for all of us, up to including the people who come to the market. You see an overloaded boat too much, please use your courtesy as a human being who value life. Ndugu, umejaza ya kutosha, wache wengine, boti ingine itabeba. Hiyo mzigo umebeba, usiweke watu wengine. It's for all of us, including all the BMU leadership in the entire country, not only Lake Victoria.
The rescue centers funded by the African Development Bank are currently being constructed to make it simpler to rescue people in times of tragedies such as this one.
Being that this is going to be happening, or rather coming to a close at the end of today, close of business, Chola Simon will be keeping us up to date in regard to any developments for that rescue, or rather retrieval mission there. To some updates here from the Judiciary has set up 9 alternative dispute resolution centers in the counties of Nairobi, Lamu and Mombasa to help ease the burden of case backlog in conventional courts of the region. The chairman to the Steering Committee on Alternative Justice System, Professor Joel Ngoge, says the centers will address the quest for timely justice to all citizens. Through the initiative, 26 community-based organizations across the country are already receiving financial and technical support from UNDP to enhance access to legal services among those who cannot afford legal fee.
The United Nations Development Programme and partners are keen on strengthening the alternative justice system in a bid to expand access to justice among the poor in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic in the counties.
In a short while, we'll be able to create a pool of volunteer advocates to support the program for legal aid support. As a model center to promote access to justice for the poor and the vulnerable groups, the so-called indigents, through awareness creation and coaching on self-representation and provision of legal aid support.
UNDP Kenya resident representative Walid Badawi says through the program for legal empowerment and aid delivery Kenya, established legal aid centers will enable the poor access free digital court proceedings and legal services for timely justice.
But we're also providing alternative dispute resolution centers, 4 of them in Lamu County, as well as providing capacity to support 4 already established legal aid centers and 1 justice advisory center in Nairobi. and Mombasa County.
Badawi, who was in Nakuru, said the centers are in conformity to the United Nations aspiration for the equitable access to justice for peaceful and cohesive societies. High Court Judge Justice Professor Joel Ngoge, who is the chairman to the Steering Committee on Alternative Justice Systems, hailed the program, saying it will enable members of society who are unable to raise legal fees in their pursuit of their rights find justice efficiently and on time as enshrined in law.
One of the true innovations of the PLEAD project that is being implemented by UNDP and UNODC, among other agencies, is really to take this issue very seriously through innovative solutions to ensure that there is access to justice to the weakest members of society.
Big round of applause to CBGG, to NNAS, to the county government.
Now, before we cross over to matters of business, is that Nakuru-based Dr. James Gakara, suspected of killing of his 2 children last Saturday, died while receiving treatment at the Nakuru Level 5 hospital. Gakara was last weekend found unconscious alongside his 2 children in their Milimani Estate home in Nakuru. Now, police suspect the children were injected with legal substances. Nakuru County Police Commander Beatrice Kiraguri said the physician had attempted to commit suicide. Gakara's widow, Winnie Odhiambo, is admitted at the Nakuru Level 5 Hospital High Dependency Unit after she collapsed upon learning of her husband's demise. We'll be keeping tabs on that. Now, crossing over to matters business is that you'll not be required to present a certificate of good conduct, KRA certificate of compliance, EACC clearance, HELB clearance form and a credit reference bureau clearance when applying for a job if the Employment Amendment Bill 2019 is enacted into law in its current form. Members of the National Assembly debating the amendment bill argue that job seekers are compelled to spend so much on acquiring these documents to apply for jobs, yet they are not guaranteed employment.
About 800,000 graduates from institutions of higher learning enter the labour market every year, according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Those applying for jobs have to contend with rigorous requirements, such as presenting a certificate of good conduct, HELB clearance, KRA certificate of compliance, EACC clearance, Credit Reference Bureau clearance to be shortlisted for an interview.
These documents are required to be attached to the application forms. So at that stage, the young man or woman doesn't know whether he or she will get the job. Just to go for the interview or even not to even be called for the interview, yet they have gone through this rigorous process through which they even borrow money, because a majority of it is alluded to by the mover.
And Madam Speaker, you even realize that there are some graduates who leave universities and institutions of higher learning even without their own certificates, Madam Speaker, simply probably because they have not cleared school fees. You know, they are in arrears at school, Madam Speaker, and then they have to face the job market to look for jobs, Madam Speaker.
Processing of compliance or clearance certificate by relevant entities should be automated in order to facilitate the acquisition of such documents and reduce attendant cost of manual processing of such documents.
The Employment Amendment Bill currently being debated by the members of Parliament seeks to simplify the job application process by amending Section 9 of the Employment Act to compel employers to carry out background checks on employees after employing them. They said job seekers are subjected to a rigorous process, yet they are not guaranteed of employment.
We want a process whereby our youth are not locked out of the jobs even before they are interviewed.
What this bill is saying, and what I support, is that young people who seek employment and are guaranteed, Madam Speaker, that there is a likelihood of being employed, they should be allowed to be employed first, Madam Speaker, and even get at least even 3 months, Madam Speaker, so that at least there you're also, saving your money and also ensuring that you have this job first, Madam Speaker, before you go back to your institution of learning, Madam Speaker, or the university to look for this documentation.
Indeed, if that particular bill sails through as in its current form, that is the Employment Bill of 2019, it will definitely change the lives of a majority of job seekers who happen to be the youth who make up over 60% of the unemployed population in the country. Now, 14 sanitizer brands have been 14 sanitizer brands have been pulled out of the market for failing to meet quality standards. The Kenya Bureau of Standards, KEBS, says the brands were flagged after an assessment on 47 brands collected from the market during a routine surveillance.
Standard sanitizer, exposing yourself to COVID-19 risks if findings by the Kenya Bureau of Standards is anything to go by. In a routine assessment on sanitizer brands in the Kenyan market, the standards body has flagged 30% of the products being sold as being substandard and a risk to users. KEP says the non-compliant brands that have now been recalled from the market are Blue King, Shocker, Jet, Kaida Care, My Choice, Safe Touch, Afia and Lab Care. Others are Aroma, Apocan, Clear Hands, Camley, Jams Shield and Sari. KEBS clarifies that the announcement is not meant to outlaw the sanitizer brands from the market, but rather a temporary suspension for compliance. The standards body has instructed the affected brands to institute effective corrective actions, whose effectiveness shall be confirmed by KEBS before resumption of production and placement of the brands in the market. Noting that they have intensified market surveillance and monitoring activities, the Kenya Bureau of Standards is urging the public to be vigilant and inform KEBS upon encountering any product suspected to be substandard through a toll-free number.
The Cooperative Bank of Kenya has signed a 750 million shillings loan portfolio guarantee agreement with African Guarantee Fund to increase financing of green projects being undertaken by small and medium-sized enterprises. The cash will enable COP Bank to increase its financing to micro, small and medium-sized enterprises and promote emerging corporates in Kenya that are involved in green energy and solar installation projects.
According to data from the International Renewable Energy Agency, solar costs have fallen by over 80% since 2010, while the levelized cost of energy generated by large-scale solar plants is under 10 shillings per kilowatt hour, compared to about 38 shillings per kilowatt hour 10 years ago. The figures further indicate that between 2018 and 2019, the price of solar power fell by 13%. As such, corporates are angling themselves to fund green solutions. The Cooperative Bank of Kenya has secured 750 million shillings loan portfolio guarantee agreement from African Guarantee Fund to finance such by small and medium-sized enterprises. During the signing of the deal, COP Bank Director for Corporate and Institutional Banking, Jacqueline Waithaka, revealed that the challenge banks and other financiers face in financing of solar energy regards the kind of securities that customers offer as collateral for credit. In addition, she says solar panels and inverters are not preferred as security because they cannot be easily liquidated in case of a loan default. Experts believe energy costs remain one of the heaviest input costs for many small businesses, and thus financing green projects is seen as a way of having a large positive impact on MSMEs involved in reducing the cost of doing business, thereby making them more competitive. On its part, the African Guarantee Fund Director of Business Development, Frank Adjagba, said the partnership took cognizance of how sustainability improves the quality of life and protects the ecosystem and preserves natural resources for future generations.
Now crossing over to the sporting arena, FKF Premier League champions Tusker FC have bagged their first title of the season after beating Gor Mahia 8-7 in a post-match penalties to lift the FKF Super Cup in Thika. Debutant Brian Bwire, formerly of Kariobangi Sharks, starred for the Brewers, saving a total of 3 penalties. The match was also used to gauge both teams' preparedness for the 2021-2022 season, which kicks off this weekend.
After a goalless first half between Kenyan champions Tusker FC and Gor Mahia, Kogalo took the lead from the spot through Samuel Onyango after Benson Omala was brought down in the box.
However, the lead didn't last long as Tusker, under the tutelage of Robert Matano, leveled the scoreline moments later through new signing Ibrahim Joshua. With no team getting the better of the other with the 5 fast regular penalties, Ernest Wendo was to miss Gor Mahia's 10th penalty, a move that saw Tusker win their first trophy of the season after Kirenge converted the last pot kick of the game.
A normal pre-season would be 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks. So, we've had 10 days. We're not ready to play by any means. I mean, we should not be here today playing this game. We should be given more time.
Wao vijana wamecheza vizuri sana. Na wale walikuwa wachezi sana na wengi wao ni wageni. Na pia tunakuambia tutabadilisha timu. Kila mtu apate nafasi yake. Ajielewe ni mahali gani yako na udhaifu na mahali gani tunaweza ongezea.
Well, that is the first title there for Tusker FC. We live to fight another day as Gor Mahia. Now, welterweight pugilist Crispin Muremi humbled Nepal's Dan Bahadur 4-1 on the points for the ongoing 58th edition of the World Military Boxing Championship in Moscow, Russia. Super heavyweight Fred Ramogi trounced Ashish Duwadi, while heavyweight Fredrik Onyango there lost 3-2 to Michael Eprendil of Luxembourg. Flyweight Kelvin Maina was outclassed 5-0 by Juliano Fernando of Mozambique. Lightweight Washington Wandera was also eliminated from this year's championship after losing to Uzbekistan's Shakov Abdulov. Now, Kenya is among 36 countries that are taking part alongside boxing powerhouse Algeria, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Will take on Ruth Chisale from Malawi on 2nd October at this year's at Charter Hall in Nairobi as a battle for the vacant Commonwealth lightweight belt. Now, the 31-year-old believes that she is prepared enough and will register great results as a professional boxing resumes in the country.
The bout pitting Kenyan Sarah Cheng against Malawian Ruth Chisale will be the main fight of the day besides other undercut non-title events, which will be the first one in the country since boxing was stopped indefinitely due to COVID-19 pandemic. The 31-year-old Cheng believes lack of competitive bout since 2019 won't affect her performance against Chisale.
Kulingana na venye tumepiga zoezi pamoja na coach wangu, tulisema tumejiandaa vizuri. So it might be different, but tuko ready to take up the challenge.
Kenya Professional Boxing President Ruben Dolo is optimistic that the bout is a sign of boxing resumption in the country and promised a continued collaboration with their amateur counterparts to develop talents countrywide. Elsewhere, Kenya Boxing Federation has called on sponsors to step up and support amateur boxing ahead of the Grand Tour resumption. According to KBF President Anthony Jamal, development of the sport in Kenya has been hampered by lack of funds for many initiatives such as Dondi Mashinani, which is the only sure way of nurturing more talents. Jamal spoke during the commissioning of a new boxing gym in Umoja, which has a capacity for holding 30 boxers during training.
Imekuwa muda mrefu sana since turudi back kwenye ring na SportPesa amepromise, CEO amepromise kuwa mambo yakienda vizuri, mambo ya COVID ikipungua, tuta resume michezo yetu kama kawaida.
Now, Senegal thrashed rivals Cameroon 4-1 in this first semi-final match, with Mali also thrashing Egypt 4-3 on a post-match penalty in the ongoing Africa Deaflympics ball game qualifiers held yesterday at the Kasarani Stadium to sail through to the Saturday final with eyes on a ticket to the World Deaflympics Championship set for next year in Brazil.
Elbana Hassan gave Egypt an early lead in the 8th minute before Mohamed Hamar added a second 2 minutes later. Mali proved that they were not giving up despite the scoreline, firing their first goal through Mamadou Traore in the 25th minute, forcing a 2-1 halftime score. In the second half, Musa Didakeya added a second for Mali in the 57th minute, putting the score on level and sending the game to extra time, with Mali winning the match in penalty shootout. Meanwhile, goals from Tasfir Ibon, Sar Al-Sein, Diegis Mala and an own goal by Cameroon defender Aju Jeudi helped Senegal beat Cameroon 4-1. Cameroon, who finished the match with 10 men, scored their consolation goal through Enoch Simon in the 34th minute. The two teams will clash in the finals on Saturday.
Remember, you can get further details and stories that are making headlines, as well as, matters business and sports, as well as what is happening in the political scene on our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke. On that note, we'll take a quick breather and also sample what is happening on our major roads this morning. Traffic Marshal A1, Doreen, to you.
Time for that quick look on how our roads are looking like. And again, being Thursdays, we always like to look at major highways or perhaps slip roads. And today we are just going to focus on what is happening along Kenyatta Avenue before we get to that segment of In the Headlines. And we can begin from that particular roundabout, obviously one of those busy roundabouts, and it's just what we would expect at 24 minutes past 7 a.m. Very busy this morning. Traffic throughout the entire roundabout as you leave areas of Valley Road, as well as Ngong Road, also coming to the city center there via that roundabout, also leaving areas of Mombasa Road, Nyayo Stadium, Haile Selassie, through Uhuru Highway, cutting through that section, branching off through Kenyatta Avenue as you head over to inside the CBD, and also past the roundabout, heading over to that section of the University Way roundabout. I mean, it's just really busy this morning, heavy kind of traffic throughout that entire roundabout, as well as also on those different roads that I'm just mentioning as you get to branch off there. But again, it's the early morning hours, so like I mentioned, what you're seeing is basically what you would expect to see, not forgetting the fact that it is also just busy in itself because of the ongoing roadworks which are really happening along this route. That is that expressway. It cuts across these sections up until what we looked at yesterday, that is James Gishuru Junction there through along Wayaki Way. So this is how it is. Nothing is changing throughout that section. But it looks like on that lane, as you leave the roundabout past the All Saints Cathedral there, or better still, as you leave areas of Valley Road, coming through that section as you head over to All Saints, it looks like things are changing up just a bit. Still heavy kind of traffic, but moving at a very slow pace, particular to that lane that is coming to the city center. On the other section, no traffic as well, moving at a very swift pace. So obviously, if your workstation is along that route, or perhaps you are heading there, this is the best time for you to do that, because on that lane, as you leave the roundabout and also as you leave areas of Uhuru Highway, Haile Selassie, Nyayo Stadium, and all the way from Mombasa Road, as you head over to Kenyatta Avenue, no traffic at all, moving at a very swift pace. But then again, it's also what you'd expect to see, because always, like I keep mentioning, on those lanes that is heading over to perhaps the estates in this morning hour, you'd barely expect any kind of heavy traffic or even no traffic at all, because there are barely any kind of activities there. On that other section, what we are seeing is just what you would expect to see. But then again, this has also changed right now. It's really opening up on that section. So perhaps also if you are coming to city center, leaving those areas that I've mentioned, still not that bad for you, much as there's heavy kind of traffic, but at least it's opening up a bit here and there. And again, also the roundabout is the same case scenario, but also around the sections, and mostly on this major roundabout, especially along the Uhuru Highway. Oftentimes, traffic police are always stationed there to try and see how best they can control that traffic there. So perhaps this is why we are seeing a bit of opening up there. So again, it perhaps means I would not need to look at any alternative routes, much as it's quite busy there, because at least it's opening up a bit here and there. That's how it's looking like at just 26 minutes past 7 a.m. along and around Kenyatta Avenue.
Welcome. Glad you are still keeping us company. We continue with Good Morning Kenya, and it is that time where we get to have a look at what the dailies have for us this morning. The hashtag still remains to be Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. We start off with the stories that have been featured here on the front page of the Daily Nation. The COVID millionaires. This is a story that has been covered on the back page of the Daily Nation. KEMSA chiefs on the spot over COVID-19 scandal, and this is what was happening yesterday from a report that was tabled in the National Assembly by the Public Investment Committee that is chaired by Mvita MP Abdul Swamad, where they recommended the prosecution of former Senate Deputy Speaker, that is Kembi Gitura, and the entire board of KEMSA over the 7.8 billion scandal, and also they want EACC to investigate Mr. Gitura, and who was the then chairman, as well as other board members, and the role that each of them played, as well as compelling those that benefited from the inflated payments to be forced to make refunds. This is what was happening yesterday from this report that was tabled at the National Assembly. Moving to the next story here is in regards to death in a police cell. This is an incident that happened in Kangundo. Investigations are underway to just find what happened to one Mr. Mulinduva, who was picked up by police officers Thursday evening, only for his body to be found at the city mortuary the following day on Friday. IPOA is currently investigating the death of Mulinduva, who was arrested in Tala. We'll be giving you more details as has been covered here, because there seems to be a lot of inconsistency as per the stories that have been shared by those that saw him last alive. His mother's account, one of his friends even said that the police officers who picked him up were in the company of Nduva's former girlfriend. We'll be getting to the details in a bit, but coming to the main story here on the front page of the Daily Nation. Inner circle. It is now time to pick and choose who will be in your inner circle, and as per the Deputy President, he is picking top brains for 2022, and just looking at those that he's handpicking to be in his inner circle, it involves it has included an economist, political experts, former diplomats, professors, right activists, and lawyers who are set to help him campaign, craft a campaign strategy, including the fine-tuning of his bottom-up economic development model. Then, in briefly, story concerning the CBC with shocker for teachers who were now going to be having to do refresher courses every 5 years as per the requirements of the CBC. Then this particular story concerning the latest in regards to the incident that happened in Nakuru, more agony for mother as doctor dies in hospital. And finally, it is expensive to be poor in Kenya. Details coming up in a bit. Victor.
All right. Okay, so before we continue, I think we should take a break, right?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be right back with you.
My name is Fikiri Kiponda. I am a wildlife warrior. The soft plastics, they look like jellyfish, which turtle end up confusing with their natural food.
She's finished laying her eggs and now she's covering them up. She swipes with her fins, chucking sand into the pit behind her where the eggs are.
Some turtle will do like 7 clutches.
This tiny crab could actually kill a baby turtle.
Turtle needs everyone's help. Otherwise, they might get into extinct.
This is Wildlife Warriors.
不相见
Your Majesty, it was the Empress Mother that ordered it done. Or else I wouldn't have dared.
That's a lie! After what he said in court, I think most officials won't believe that. It's you behind this thing.
Hold on. You must hang in there. We'll arrive at the nunnery soon. They said there's a doctor there. I'm sure she'll cure you. Hang on. Just hang on, brother. Hurry! Faster!
If you keep messing around like this, I'm afraid you'll end up in jail again. Dr. Han, watch out!
Where am I? I don't even know where I am. I don't want to hear a peep until morning. In fact, why don't you all sleep? What?
So what happened?
Oh, she found a richer, better looking option. She's not my wife. You don't want it? Or would you prefer some of that bad chicken?
Uongozi wa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, serikali imewekeza zaidi katika ukarabati na upanuzi wa miradi ya unyunyiziaji maji mashamba kote nchini. Wiki hii kwenye Project 254,
we must empower our farmers with the information necessary to increase their output, reduce their unit cost of production, and therefore significantly improve returns on their investment.
Zamani tulikuwa tunapewa msaada wa chakula na siku hizi tunajitegemea sisi wenyewe.
Wametupatia kitu ya muhimu ambayo hakitakwisha. Kitu tutaendelea kuvuna, kila wakati tutaendelea kuvuna kutoka kwa hayo maji.
Welcome back to the Star newspaper now. Uhuru, DP Ruto war dangerous, says Mudavadi. Uhuru, DP Ruto war dangerous, says Mudavadi. ANC boss wants President Kenyatta's discord with his deputy could trigger a split among the security sector. That is a story which is completely and fleshed out there for you in details. You can take a look at that. The ANC boss says that former vice president says that division could spill over to civil service. That is his fear. Still on the front page of the Star newspaper. Nakuru doctor suspected of killing his children dies. That happened yesterday at the Nakuru Level 5 hospital, and police are still continuing with the probe. All right, questions over KWS missing chief inspector. Almost a month, the family of Francis Isaac Oyaro, a chief inspector at the Kenya Wildlife Service, has been anxious about his whereabouts. He went missing on August 28th as he was traveling to Nairobi from Marsabit, which is his working station. MPs want KEMSA COVID billionaires to repay funds. That is also a story that has been captured in all the local days that we have here for you. Senior KEMSA officials and board members could be subject of investigations by the EACC into the 7.8 billion shillings PPE scandal. The National Assembly Public Investments Committee has recommended former chairman Kembi Gitura, Joel Onsare and ex-board members be probed. On the front page of the Star newspaper. And just details on that demise of the doctor and his two children. Gakara's brother, Barton Joroge, who is also the family spokesman, said that the medic died Wednesday at 9 a.m. at the Nakuru Level 5 hospital. It is also reported that his widow, Winnie Odhiambo, is admitted to Nakuru Level 5 hospital after she collapsed upon learning of her husband's death. That is the story there. The police are still continuing the probe, as I said earlier. There's a story here of a Runda landlady suing KPLC over ex-tenant's 1.1 million shillings bill. She says that legal meter kept reading zero and Kenya Power failed to do its job. All right? A landlady has sued KPLC for demanding that she pays 1.1 million shillings bill left behind by a former tenant who installed an illegal meter. Okay, so that is a story that is going there, and she says that she continued to read her meter through her son because she works in Tanzania, but all the time her meters would read 0 shillings, and at some point she was taken to task to pay 1.1 million shillings when a new tenant moved in. All right, so that story, Uhuru and DP Ruto split could divide security forces, according to Musalia Mudavadi. Said that I have been the most dangerous thing. I beg your pardon. ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi has warned that President Uhuru Kenyatta's discord with his deputy William Ruto could trigger a split among the security sector in the country. The head of state and his principal assistant have bitterly fallen out, causing war in government, as Uhuru is determined to block Ruto's accession to power in 2022. And now ANC party leader says that that should be resolved so as not to make a split in the security sector. And finally, KEMSA COVID billionaires to refund cash as Nasir team demands further probe. Public Investment Committee in Parliamentary commends prosecution of agency board and managers linked to loss of funds. Only 2 companies were found to have followed the law in the procurement of the COVID-19 response items. The rest used commitment letters. The committee has also recommended that the goods held at KEMSA warehouse be sold to recover taxpayers' money. It suggests that a multi-agency team look into the whole procurement process with a view to analyzing the amount payable to KEMSA suppliers. So that is according to Nasir, who is the committee chair in Parliament. Doreen.
All right, so let's start with that issue of starvation, which right now, as it stands, 2.1 million people are facing starvation. That is what the latest report shows, and that's according to the Food and Agriculture Organization, which mentioned that yesterday. We also had this similar story, I think, over the past 2 weeks, where also the devolution CS had alluded to this fact of starvation, to the fact that perhaps if we miss the October and November rains, then clearly again a good number of Kenyans will also have to face this food shortage. And again, we also saw the state allocating some monies to the affected areas, and those affected areas were also mentioned. And at least going by this particular article, just also showing what the state is trying to do, also by giving at least 32,000 bags of livestock to feed and to support the pastoralist communities, as well as those communities that have been affected by this starvation. Speaking of that particular aspect, when it comes to matters food items, also in the western part of the country, that is in Lugari sub-county, displaced families now receive food items, whereby the families of those houses that were torched in that particular sub-counties due to inter-clan conflict have now been able to receive food from the Kakamega County government. And also, again, going by that article, the Kakamega County governor has mentioned that this is not the best way, of course, not the best way to solve conflict. There are other ways and avenues that can be used when it comes to inter-county conflicts there. To a bit of some politics now. Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru finds fate in Ruto's camp after a series of flip-flops, just saying that even though the governor has announced her intention to defend her seat, some of her supporters have been urging her to go for the deputy president's seat. And now Waiguru, however, maintains she is still weighing different options and will inform Kenyans about her decision when such time comes. So she will inform Kenyans when such time comes. But you know about politics, anything can change anytime. So that's that in regards to that particular issue when it comes to matters politics there. Some bit of education matters again, just going around with the CBC. We keep mentioning every time that up until what is happening when it comes to this competency-based curriculum, we never miss an article just going, but either what different stakeholders are trying to say, those that are filing for petitions here and there. And now the High Court has allowed more than 10,000 private schools to be enjoined in a case where a parent is seeking to stop the implementation of the CBC. Now, going by what also the Kenya Parents Association said, this I think was on Monday or Tuesday, that they had also been included when it came to the implementation of the CBC, and trying to also pick from what the ministry said, that perhaps if we were to revert back to the 844 system, what happens to those children that are already in the system, particularly for those from grade 1 to 5. So again, also when you get to the details, I'll be telling you more about that, and perhaps what this article continues to highlight, and what these private schools are also seeking, even as they're trying to say that CBC in terms of implementation needs to be stopped there. We also have KEMSA bosses face jail over COVID-19 scam. We also have that on the front page of the People's Daily. Ray.
Well, CBC, matters of politics, still continue taking center stage even in this particular daily that I have, which happens to be a copy of the Standard this morning. Those matters have found themselves on the front page of the Standard. And the big read here is to do with Dennis Itumbi, who works for the Deputy President and was charged with forgery of a letter alleging a plot against the second in command. And according to Martha Mutuko Milimani, Chief Magistrate, is that now that particular case goes to full trial, saying, having analyzed the evidence before court, I find the prosecution has proved a case to warrant the accused persons to be put on their defense. Front page of the Standard this morning, being the 23rd of September 2021. Also, what is happening in Kirinyaga there, and we're seeing the political scene there. Now, Anne Waiguru has dumped Uhuru's party, says she's still weighing the options of which particular seat she'll be going for, but it says, yes, indeed. That actually goes to say that, you know, so much is happening in the political scene, political alliances and such. Now, also matters of mandatory courses for teachers, refresher courses every 5 years at a cost of 6,000 shillings. That is according to TSC. Matters of politics, Oka will now also reveal a flag bearer in Kalonzo. This is according to Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka. He was speaking in Nakuru County. So what next for Hassan Joho? Remember, he had said he was going to be at the ballot or on the ballot come 2022. So what next? It seems that now he quit the race, but now he's going to be standing, or rather supporting Baba there, and that is Raila. So he's cast his die with Raila there in regard to matters 2022. Matters of politics, Kenyan Sprint King speaks, and this is something that has taken, you know, both mainstream media as well as social media by storm. It has been captured here. Omanyala says he runs clean, tells fans not to doubt his times. So pictured there is Ferdinand and his girlfriend Laventa Mutavi, who gets a new feel of a new car gifted to the sprinter by betting firm Odibets for breaking the African 100 meters record last weekend at the Kipkeino Kipkeino Classic. Well, that finds itself on the front page of the Standard this morning. Remember, you can get further details on our website of stories that are making headlines, not just in matters politics, sports and business, but also if you want to just catch up with what is happening in the government as it rolls out that particular mitigation exercise in as far as matters drought are concerned. 2 billion shillings has already been released, and it's going to be disbursed to the most needy families in the affected counties. In summary, that's what we have on the front page of the Standard, Victor.
Okay. Let me just pick it from there, Regina. Big weeks to battle for diaspora votes as new stations named voter registration in the 10 countries set to be rolled out in December. 6 new voting stations in the diaspora classified as Kenya's 48th county, and a possible swing vote will be epicenter of a titanic political battle between top presidential contenders. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission yesterday announced that Kenyans in 10 foreign countries across the globe will vote in the August 9th, 2022 general election. IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati said that Kenyans with a valid passport in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, South Sudan, Qatar will join the list of their counterparts in Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda, and South Africa who voted in the 2017 general election. So this is some good news there for the Kenyans in the diaspora. All right. Very quickly, senators censure Munyes Kiter for snubbing sermons. The legislators expressed outrage at the conduct of the CSS, accusing them of treating Parliament with contempt and abdicating their responsibility. In a heated session in the chamber, the legislators said that the duo failed to honor a sermon by the Senate Energy Committee to discuss the recent increase of the pump prices, and they said that the skyrocketing of electricity bills in the country. So they want the two charged, according to parliamentary standings. All right. So bail hearing for the six cops in the Embu brothers' murder adjourned to today. The bail hearing for the 6 Kianjakoma police officers charged with the murder of 2 brothers was adjourned to today by the High Court. This is after the victims' lawyers raised concerns that they had not been served with application for bail by the defense. Something here that will keep you talking, ladies, and even Kenyans. But before we get to that, TSC now launches training for in-service teachers. The program had faced 4 years of opposition from former NAT bosses. The Teacher Service Commission has rolled out a professional development course after 4 years of opposition from the Kenya National Union of Teachers. In 2019, a labor court halted the implementation of professional development training programs that will determine the promotion of the teachers. Okay, to that I wanted to tell you. Kenya's interest on total external debt stands at 2 trillion shillings, according to the Central Bank of Kenya. The principal foreign loan is at 4.015 trillion shillings, accounting to 52% rather of total public debt. So, in simple terms, Kenya needs 6 trillion shillings if it was to clear its external debt today, according to the country's debt status report by the Central Bank of Kenya. Kenya's average external debt maturity rose to 23.3 years, the second highest level in 10 years at an average rate of 2.1%. Now this means that with a total external debt of 4.015 trillion shillings as at end of the last financial year, Kenya is expected to pay a total interest of at least 84.3 billion shillings in annual interest, translating to 1.96 trillion in 23.3 years. Tuko tu sawa.
Let me tie that to this story here.
Yes.
That states it is expensive to be poor in Kenya. Okay?
Yeah.
Na hapa ndio sasa Regina ataingia tu crunchie manabas vizuri.
But Regina is not poor.
No, not in terms of poor, in terms of Nikuna choma. As a business anchor and reporter.
We know her. The reason why I'm saying we know her.
Now, let's get to the story. So this particular piece here looks at a report that was put together according to the Consumer Price Index, and this is was put together by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, that dispels the belief that inflation cuts across households equally. Inflation is not affecting everybody equally, basically. So here they are comparing how the poorer population are feeling as opposed to the wealthier population when it comes to inflation and the rise of prices when it comes to basic commodities. So as per this report, the prices for products bought by low-income earners have been rising faster than what the rich buy. Okay? They look at the basic commodities that are consumed by the poor, which are mostly sold to them, making them the prime targets for the government's 1.7 trillion tax plan for the 2021-2022 financial year. Now, they go further to just help you understand the the spending habits between the poor and the wealthy. So the poor spend 36.3% of their income on food, while the rich spend 16.8% of their income on food. Okay? And looking at the price of food, it has risen by 10.67% over the last 2 months. So who are feeling the biggest pinch? It is the poor, because some of the things that have been affected are bread, milk, eggs, onion, potatoes, and these are things that the poorer population largely consume. Now, going back to their spending habits, the poor spend 2.3% of their income on liquor, tobacco, and other narcotics, compared to the rich, who spend 1.8% of their income on the same. Moving on to rent, water, electricity, cooking gas, and fuel, which has risen by 5.7%, poor households spend 16.9% of their income to this particular category of items, as compared to the rich, who only spend 13% on rent, water, electricity, cooking gas, and fuel. All right? So they go on to say that, even when the prices go up, the rich have the option of choosing something else which still fits within the category of spending that they do. And the example they've given here is if the price of maize flour increases, the rich might opt for pizza. If the price of maize flour increases, the poor don't have an alternative within the same price range to go for, as opposed to the rich. So when it comes to inflation, as per the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, every household is not experiencing the pinch the same way.
Yeah, quality. It's never the same. So, Regina, there's a story here, perhaps from the business desk. Sugarcane goes to waste because that is in Nandi County. Are counting losses as thousands of tons of harvested canes goes to waste following the closure of Kibos Sugar Company. Now, the story says that the privately owned factory located in Kisumu County stopped operations due to what described as a major breakdown at the factory. Now, it is the only remaining cane mill in operation within the Kisumu, Nandi, and Kericho sugar belt, buying farmers' produce. State-owned Chemelil, Muhoroni, and Miwani factories ceased operations a while back due to huge debt and old milling equipment that are uneconomical to run. Regina, from the business perspective, the issue of sugarcane millers and in the western side of Kenya has been a thorny issue even for the government and the private sugarcane farmers for a very long time. Is there any end to this in sight anytime soon?
Well, now let me take it from there. The issue of sugarcane farming in the country is something that has, bedeviled the industry from the 80s to now.
Yeah.
There's been a talk about, the privatization of these particular sugar mills to just have the mills now operational. But now, even with privatization, there's the issue of machines that had already been set up there. Some have not been working for years. So it's quite a capital intensive for majority of sugar mills there. And you remember there's also been the talk of graft and corruption there, and also sugarcane farmers not getting their earnings as they should from these sugar mills.
Promptly.
So there's been a lot of there's been a lot that has been happening in this subsector. At the time, I remember some years back there was a proposal to have something introduced called zoning. Which meant that if you have a sugarcane plantation in area X, you can only sell it within the scope of area X, and you cannot sell your cane in area Y, so to speak. And there was a lot of debate in regard saying that it should be a free seller buyer situation when it comes to the sale of cane, because there were some sugar mills that were giving less money for the kgs, or rather cane received. But then the issue of privatization vis-a-vis a majority of them being government owned, and then there's a question of importation of cheap sugar.
Exactly.
That you throw that into the spanner when it comes to the issue of the sugar subsector. I think there was also even recommendations made by the sugar task force, and the ones who came up with the issue of zoning and such. But provided the sector itself remains fluid, so to speak, and the farmers, a majority, I hear even now farmers are opting now to do away with their sugar cane.
Exactly.
And clear their farms and cultivate something else, because sugar is no longer profitable to them. So this is an industry, I think Munya there needs to do something as a CS in as far as agriculture is concerned. And remember, the president also took in the report by the sugar task force, but we are yet to get to the implementation phase of the recommendations made by the task force. Then Jane, there you picked up on consumer spending habits as presented there by the KNBS there in regard to how the poor and the rich, and why the rich might not be feeling the effects or the inflationary pressures. What I can say from a business point of view, or rather, money gives you, or rather affords you, an option. If you do not have money, you do not have an option. And also the way people are enculturated, and that's why let's look at the issue of unga, maize flour. Whenever we are having the budget presentation over the years, Kenyans are really eagerly waiting to hear the price of maize. Not because, we all love maize per se, but we have been enculturated to know that maize is a staple food of the country. And the Agriculture Ministry has been running a series of campaigns to have, people diversify from maize flour, and maybe you do sorghum or fortified, or have this maize flour fortified with something else, so that we ease over reliance on maize. But that yet is yet to catch on. So you'll find the rich here saying that, even looking at their percentages, they spend the rich spend 16.8% on food, yet the poor households spend 36.3%. If you look at it, that is more or less double. But why is this happening? It's because the rich have an option. They have an option, a variety to pick on, because they are liquid enough to pick on that, so they do not necessarily spend so much. Besides, this percentage, the 36.3%, is the basic commodities that government continues to tax because
heavily,
they are fast-moving goods. You cannot tax something that is not fast-moving. You will not get the requisite monies that you want, or revenues. So what is being taxed is what a majority of Kenyans are consuming. Then there falls in the liquor, or what the liquor, the cigarettes and such fall under sin tax. Government has always been targeting sin tax, or rather putting in place sin tax, so that, because this is your alcohol. Even during COVID, when Kenyans were told, we can't go to the entertainment
bars,
joints, people still went shopping for alcohol, and in great numbers, so to speak. So sin tax has always been a pool that government will always look into. But if you compare, what are the rich consuming vis-a-vis what are the poor consuming and in what numbers. Remember, sometimes you'll find that when someone is actually very much stressed out, and this is a reason even according to surveys and studies put across, you'll find that when someone is going through something, they go for alcohol, for cigarettes, for such, you know, to just try kudliwaza mawazo.
Escapism.
So our purchase, or rather our buying habits also are influenced by where we find ourselves, stations we find ourselves in life. But what we know is that if you have money, it gives you an option. It gives you an option. So kindly get money.
Kindly get money.
Get money, get loaded if you do not want to feel the inflationary
you're right.
pressures.
When you have money, you have options. You can decide and say, I want to go for a holiday in a particular country.
You can
that
eat
kind doesn't work for
ugali,
you.
chapati, or mandas.
Exactly. But if you don't have money, you
I love my home.
Yeah. The same way Manchester United had no option because they didn't have money last night.
I see what you're doing there.
Piganeni tumalize.
Manchester United did not have...
Before tumalize,
Manchester didn't have any option.
She's very quiet. She's very quiet. I may choose peace.
You know, there's something they say, you never argue with a fool.
That is heavy.
Okay, it's over. It's over.
You never argue with the what? But
never
anyway,
argue with a fool because you look like one. So Arsenal and Manchester United, we can't have that conversation.
We'll be back.
Your Majesty, it was the Empress Mother that ordered it done. Or else I wouldn't have dared. That's a lie.
After what he said in court, I think most officials won't believe that. It's you behind this thing.
Hold on. You must hang in there. We'll arrive at the nunnery soon. They said there's a doctor there. I'm sure she'll cure you. Hang on. Just hang on, brother. Hurry! Faster!
If you keep messing around like this, I'm afraid you'll end up in jail again. Dr. Hang, watch out!
Resist her, brother. Billa's stunning. Be careful moving. Billa is our father's woman. You are a disgrace to our house, a dishonor upon our family.
Stop it!
I want Dina to be my wife. I am a Hebrew, sir. I am here because my brother sold me as a slave to Jatur, the slave trader. Your own brothers? They sold you? What is your name, boy? My name is Joseph, sir. I miss my mother and my father terribly. I miss my family, my brother Benjamin, and my sister Dina.
But then don't worry, you understand?
I don't trust you. I trust you.
Thank you. I needed that.
Mnatoshaje kako kanyumba kenyu kadogo?
Everybody needs to start minding their own business around here.
Look at who is talking.
Hey, Sugar. I thought you could use my new number since you told me hubby discovered the old one. Hello?
You're beautiful and I'm blessed to have you.
Well, then, I guess I need to go now.
want him near you, my dearest son. And I don't have any doubt that he was the one who shot Victoriano. If you had listened to me, Vicente, you would still be alive. No. You wouldn't dare tell Emiliano.
Then don't try me.
No, don't come in! Victoriano! Victoriano! Victoriano, get me out of here! Victoriano!
He said that you hired me to get revenge on him.
Your Majesty, it was the Empress Mother that ordered it done. Or else I wouldn't have dared. That's a lie!
After what he said in court, I think most officials won't believe that. It's you behind this thing.
Hold on. You must hang in there. We'll arrive at the nunnery soon. They said there's a doctor there. I'm sure she'll cure you. Hang on. Just hang on, brother. Hurry! Faster!
If you keep messing around like this, I'm afraid you'll end up in jail again. Dr. Han, watch out!
Najua una wasiwasi na Badi, lakini hata yeye wakati wake utafika na nitamweka chini kama vile babake na dadake.
Una hakika?
Na bahati sana mume wangu hayuko, angekuwa mngenipigia saluti kuanzia getini mpaka huku ndani.
Nani babako hapa?
Kombo, wamtukana mgeni na maneno makali namna hiyo?
Haya si yako. Kwa hivyo mtoto ndio shida.
Malezi ni ya watu wawili.
Kuna shida yote akiwa na wewe?
Kupitia uongozi wa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, serikali imewekeza zaidi katika ukarabati na upanuzi wa miradi ya unyunyiziaji maji mashamba kote nchini. Wiki hii kwenye Project 254,
we must empower our farmers with the information necessary to increase their output, reduce their unit cost of production, and therefore significantly improve returns on their investment.
Zamani tulikuwa tunapewa msaada wa chakula na siku hizi tunajitegemea sisi wenyewe.
Wametupatia kitu ya muhimu ambayo hakitakwisha. Kitu tutaendelea kuvuna, kila wakati tutaendelea kuvuna kutoka kwa hayo maji.
welcome back to the program. This is still Good Morning Kenya, time for our fast conversation this Thursday, and we want to delve deeper to that which we were having last week on Thursday, that is better understanding about events and decor industry. We didn't explore that much, but now we are here for that, and my guests are already here. That is Bernard Neseri to my immediate right, who's the founder and creator of Neseri Creations. We also have Abraham Mwangi, ndio hao actually, ndio hao sasa. Abraham Mwangi also comes from the same company, and we just want to talk about events and decor, what you need to understand about that particular industry. If you're someone getting into that space, what you need to know, the challenges therein, how to navigate and maneuver all that. That is what they will be talking to us about. Ben, yes. Let's just pick it up from what you were having last week, and perhaps you can pick it up from that point of you went to school, ukafanya journalism, mass communication, then uka shift to events.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, for me, looking for jobs here and there, it was very hard. And at the end of the day, you have to pay your bills, you have to buy clothes, you have to eat and everything. So hapo ndio mtu natafutanga, like I need a plan B. And
event was a plan B.
Event was a plan B because I had seen what people do, and I was like, okay, if I have to go for a plan B, it should be the events now, because I've given it a try. Let me give it a try and see how it will take me. And perhaps nilijaribu nikasema the way nilikuwa nimeanza kufanya, because I was working with the private companies for film and photography, but most of them were doing the events, corporate events, birthdays, weddings and stuff like that. So I used to be like a cameraman on the other hand. So still I used to maneuver between the events industry, the deco, and I could see how people are doing deco. And that's how I thought, like, let me give it a try in the deco industry. So from my first job, it wasn't that easy. It has never been easy. I tried the second one, the third one, but every day, every job, it was a learning process, and I became like better and better after each and every function that I got. Yeah.
And of course, there are some things you experienced here and there, which, as we continue to expound, you tell us a bit about that.
Yeah.
But what about you, Abu? At what point did you realize, but there for me, this is actually an area and a space I want to focus on? Because unapatanga mostly things to do with arts, events, just like Ben is saying, it's plan B. As ikwangi plan ya mtu ya kwanza that actually I'm leaving high school, or this is what I'm going to study in campus. This is it for me. Rarely.
Yeah. So for me, back nikiwa bado campus and primary, but mostly bado nikiwa campus. So venye nilikuwa naona Ben what he was doing, nilikuwa namwambia nikikuja Nairobi nitakuja nifanya nawe kazi.
So for you to at least from kitambo it was a thing for you.
Nilikuwa tunaipenda, but si kitu ningesema like saizi na imagine ningekuwa nafanya saizi. But venye nilikuja Nairobi nikafanya human resource. So and then after hapo corona came. So kupata hata internship na attachment kakuwa kazi, but nika just maneuver, nikakuwa na Ben akanisaidia, tukaanza kufanya naye kazi. So back in 2020 huko mwisho, so I guess Ben had 2 jobs. So moja akanipatia akasema wewe will be the man in the ground, hii ingine ya Kenya. So after hapo nikaona yenyewe events naweza kuwa serious nayo. So after hapo
naweza try.
Yeah. Na Mungu amenisaidia, at least saizi place niko, nasema ni Mungu. Yeah.
As in, clearly you are just both reading from that similar script of what I'm trying to say, that when it comes to arts, this is acting, singing, doing events, doing decos, a kind of industry. Rarely utapata mtu anasema, when I grow up I want to be in this kind of space. Mostly it's always a plan B, but yet it's quite a fruitful kind of industry. Maybe I can start with you, Abu. Why do you think, from your perspective, it's never like a first thought for most young people, or even just for anyone as a whole who is even into this space and even they're making it big?
What I can say, watu hawataki like events ikona kazi, because unaweza enda mahali like unaenda like seme Kitale ama Nakuru, and then huko you don't have people in the ground, maybe unaweza kuwa na haya vitu kwao. So hiyo inaweza kuwa ni issue kwa mtu, and then how people like unaweza kuwa creative in a way that naweza kufanyia kazi and then nikuwe creative, tuseme the setup wewe ufurahie, but nikienda kwa mwingine and then nimfanyie hivyo nasema hiyo si niliona kwa mwingine anataka something new. So hiyo shift ya like kuwa creative all along inaweza kuwa shida.
So also it needs a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Ben? Why do you think in a way kwangi first thought ya most people?
To me, I feel like you know, umtu ukiwa high school, there's something you want, there's that person you want to be after high school, after college, after you finished with school. There's something you want to do. So what people usually forget, what I believe in Kenya, like jobs are not guaranteed. That's what I believe.
What you studied for is not quite what you...
It's not question, because at the end of the day, after I finish college, when you find that maybe there's a place they're looking for, there's some vacancy somewhere, and they're looking for people maybe they look only for 20 people. But unapata during the day, watu kuja for the interview, we find like 1,000 people. So you find that unapata there are so many people when you wamesoma sana, but there are limited space za job. Okay. So at the end of the day, you just have to be lucky for you to be among the chosen few. But kitu atuja kuwa raised ni like in life you have to have a plan B at the end of the day, because umesomea journalism now, there's no job for journalism. What next? You need to have that plan B. So tumekuwa raised in a way that we don't find our plan B. We are just fixed on one thing, like mimi nimesomea journalism and that is all. I can't do that. But there are so many things that are related to journalism that we can do still in the same field. So we as a young generation, we need to open our mind and know that if I can't do this, I can still do this. If I can't do this, I can still do this. We have the potential of doing any other thing apart from what you had studied for. Because labda you may study something because your parent told you, I want you to be a doctor. Yeah. Then maybe in your heart, you don't feel like to be a doctor. You feel like I want to be a photographer at the end of the day. So where unaenda kwa field just knowing that I want to be a doctor because my parents told me to be a doctor. So unapata maneuvering in that field becomes so hard for you if you don't get that job. But once at the end of the day, if you are a doctor but you can still do something like part-time, like a photographer or something else as part-time, when this stops, at least you have something else to hold on. Exactly.
Don't you think that in itself is a statement that may be a bit contradicting? Tukisema in life you need to have a plan B. Don't you feel like in any way it makes someone would say, oh, ni mtu yuko focused?
It's not contradicting. Trust me, let me tell you.
Okay.
When Corona happened, how many people lost their jobs?
Quite very many people lost. And even some are still losing even up until now.
Some are still losing jobs right now. Okay, now you've lost your job and you are focused to be a doctor and there's no job for you. What will you do?
Think of something.
Think of something, because at the end of the day you have to pay your bills.
Yeah.
You have to eat, maybe you have children, you have to pay school fees, rent and everything. There's so many things that come along. So at the end of the day in life you need a plan B, just in case something fails, you can work on something else. You don't stop there because it has stopped. You need to find another way to maneuver through in life.
Okay, Abu, umesema at least you've been able to do even projects by yourself, even without the guidance of Ben.
Yeah.
Or that obviously kwa events, you know, deco, clients pia wanakuja na whatever their mind is thinking, and you as an expert, you have what you're thinking. Yes. How do you work hand in hand with the client?
Okay, for us, at first, kama client I met to approach, and we have an event maybe within Nairobi, na client ni wa Nairobi. So what we do, most of the time tunaambia our client akuja kwanza kwa ground, at least aone what tutam-deliver kwake. So akikuja atakuwa na that picture what she or he will get, but sometimes maybe anaweza kuja and then aseme I don't want this, I don't want this, nimependa hii. So from there tutaweza kumwambia okay, for us tunaweza fanya hii, tutafanya hii, hapa tutakuchenjia, we'll do this and this for you. So most we just tell our client wakuje at least wajione before we do for setup for them.
How about those difficult clients, Abraham? Wale wenye tu perhaps you have agreed on something, and then in a way too, you know, people are so interesting and quite funny, and a change even just towards the day of the event, or they are constantly complaining. It may be a bit challenging and difficult.
Very true.
And I'm so sure you have perhaps, the way you're smiling looks like you have perhaps to deal with such kind. Perhaps someone who's watching and they're thinking this is a space and an area I'd want to venture into, but the challenges that come with even dealing with such difficult clients may not be a thing for me. How do you do that?
For us, huwa tuna waongelesha before the event. So tukiongea na hao, we know what the kind of setup wanataka. But mostly unaweza pata client wengine mara moja, maybe on Friday change everything.
Na event ni Saturday ama Sunday.
Event ni Saturday. So inakuanga tricky, but we try our best.
The way Ben and agree.
Yeah, we've had such situations, not once, not twice. You agree with a client on something, then on the day to deliver, they have another impression of what they want. Na imekuwa kitusumbua sana because, okay, as much as you can see the deco, it's so beautiful, like it's so much that comes along with it. Because mostly, so to avoid such situations, what we do, like once we get a client, we sit down with the client, they tell us what they want with their budget. And what we usually prefer, we go to the venue, exactly where their function will be. So before that, tunaenda kwa venue sightseeing first with them. They tell us this is what we want, this is what we want. Then we write down each and everything they want. From there, now we have an agreement, like this is what you want, this is what we are going to deliver at this cost and this cost. So we have an agreement that is signed. So sometimes you ndio inatokolea in terms of the client changes everything, that we have, at least we have a draft of what we had agreed on, so that if they decide to change something, now it comes at an extra cost on our side. But
on your side or the client side?
On the client side, because this is what we agreed, then you are changing the setup. Now it comes at an extra cost because at the end of the day, because we had like psychologically prepared, this is what we're going to set up on set. Then you come with another thing to change, because sometimes there's a change kitu, maybe what we had carried, hatuna hapo hivyo. We have to outsource another thing to come on the set right that time. So we have an agreement first, and before you change your mind, you have to check on the agreement. Exactly.
So clearly there are various steps even when a client comes to you, or vice versa. Okay, let's talk a bit about budgeting, because again, obviously when we are still in COVID times, I don't know, feeling like when COVID happened, we are still here. Around that period, especially in 2020, early 2021, events were not happening, and this is where you rely mostly on your income, events, because you're into events and deco. So at this point, a client is coming to you, they perhaps even want to hold like a small birthday party, a get together, you know, baby shower, something of that sort. And they tell you, I have this amount of money, but based on whatever you people, whatever unasikia akisema uko like, this can be quite costly. How do you navigate budgeting together with a client?
Now, we have, actually when Corona will happen, like most of the clients will cancel the events. Most of the clients will cancel events, and now we were like, what are we going to do? Now, tukaanza kupata hizi small functions like birthdays, baby showers, bridal showers, too small to graduations. People are hosting like a function for 10 people, 15 people, 10 people. Now we also had to come up and set like a small budget to accommodate these people. And what we were looking for, like for us now, we are just looking for something to survive, a means to survive, because we were praying and hoping that this situation one day it will come down. And at the end of the day, if we work something small for these clients, what we are going to do is we're going to build trust with the clients, and next time when things will happen, at least will be the first priority people will go for, because we've given them as a good price, a good budget. So normally we set a small budget for the clients. Kuna mtu anakuja kwambia, okay, mimi nataka kufanya baby shower na I only have like 10,000 for 20 people. Can you set us like a budget for that? So for us it was easy because tulikuwa tumebuy some few things of ours, because mostly when you have big functions we do hire out, because at the end of the day we have also big companies do deco. Kuna Mosaic, kuna Allure, Lux and Allure, we have Wonder Joy. they do big functions. But now we have this small client, pia kona ka budget kadogo. We also have to accommodate them because at the end of the day they also want to feel good. Na sisi tunasemanga once tunafanyia kitu poa, tunaongea na yeye tunasema aka ka budget kako tutakufanyia kitu poa, but when it comes to someone asking you how much was it, at least mwambie it was a little bit high so that at least
is that not being honest in business?
No, it's being honest because at the end of the day we are looking for clients. Kufanya kazi mzuri itajiuza because unaweza fanya kazi poa ya almost 10 ya like 50,000 but umemfanyia na cost ya 10,000 because vitu zenye umetumia most of them uko nazo. So will feel like badala hizi vitu zikae kwa nyumba ama kwa store, let me use them, event ikuwe poa so that at least one client ataona, another client ataona. So from there it's all, si tukifanya function tunasemanga it's our marketing time. Tukidisplay the best work tunapata, that's the moment kuna clients watakuja kuulizia unaenda kufanyia hii deco, who did this at what cost? No, let me just give you the number, mtaongea na wao. So we at least we accommodate each and everyone. Ukiwa hata na budget kidogo, we can speak out. Unajua kitu ya maana inakuanga like let's talk.
Have a conversation.
Exactly.
And also it looks like, just speaking from what you're saying, looks like also a good important thing and also perhaps for people to notice that if you are in this kind of space or this kind of industry, it is also important to have things of your own. Sikila kitu na haya.
Now people forget, like if really for that person who's watching and wants to start events, there are 4 things you need to understand. 4 things you need to understand. Number 1, unafaa kuwa like to sacrifice because you have to sacrifice all your weekends because most of the jobs inapatikana weekends. Sacrifice all your weekends. Number 2, you need to invest because unaweza kuwa na budget mzuri, like umepata client amekulipa like 70,000 and you are spending almost 50,000 hiring out things. So you need to invest for you to get those jobs. And another thing is be creative. Like hii kazi inataka creativity because unawezenda mahali kuna so many hotels tunaendanga unapata wall, usijaribu kuinterfere na anything, rangi nini msumari usiweke anyway. You need to be creative at the end of the day, then be ready to get tired. Hii kazi ni very tiresome. It's not a joke, it's very tiresome. But yeah, it's very tiresome. Creativity, be ready to get tired and be ready to sacrifice all your weekends. Unaweza miss even family functions just because you have a client on a weekend. So you need to sacrifice, you need to invest, you need to be ready to get tired because it's very tiresome. But if you kama uko na passion nayo, you won't feel that.
Okay.
Exactly.
Clearly, as you conclude, Abraham, maybe I could just try to finish with you and picking up on that issue of budgeting. Have you had kwenda kwa mfuko yako ukatoa something just to make sure that at the end of the day with this low budgeting, your client, at least we can give him or her whatever it is desire ama anataka?
Yeah, it's true. Na si mara moja.
Mara nyingi.
Yeah. Like for now, saizi maybe most of the time saizi time ya corona and part of last month, the other month tumekuwa na like client anakuja akisema mi sina pesa but I need this and this. So for us tuna take that opportunity kujimarket juu kuna another client tulikuwa na yeye and from that function tulitoa pesa yetu and from that function tumepata like 7 clients from that function. So kama tungekataa kusema no we cannot, so tungekuwa tumelose our 7 clients. But tunajaribu.
So that's where the part of sacrifice comes in. Okay, now we are finishing for true. And we are finishing, Ben. You can now give us your social media handles where people can get you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if there are any. That is your camera there.
On Instagram, we are Neseri Creation, Neseri Nesseri. On Facebook, Neseri Creations. Twitter, Neseri Creations. Everywhere, Neseri Creations.
Everywhere Necessary Creations, that is how you can find them for anything you might also want. Just also picking up from what they're saying, it is not easy to be in the events industry. It takes sacrifice, creativity and passion all together. We take a very quick break. We return with plenty more on the other side of this break.
Najua una wasiwasi na Badi, lakini hata yeye wakati wake utafika na nitamweka chini kama vile babake na dadake.
Una hakika?
Na bahati sana mume wangu hayuko, angekuwa mngenipigia saluti kuanzia getini mpaka huku ndani.
Nani babako hapa?
Kombo, wamtukana mgeni na maneno makali namna hiyo?
Haya si yako eh?
Kwa hivyo mtoto ndio shida.
Malezi ni ya watu wawili.
Kuna shida yote akiwa na wewe?
By the power given to me, I now declare Makoa na Roslyn as husband and wife. Makoa, you can kiss your bride.
Wow.
Wewe
ulisema hapo mbele fisi ndio yuko na tamaa. Between mimi na huyu nani fisi?
Na kwa nini wewe unakubali kwenda kupanga njama ya mtu mwingine atolewe roho kwa sababu wewe upate pesa?
Hatukuwa tumemaliza.
Alafu naye huyu mama pia huna hata haya mbele ya koti.
Huyu anyongo mheshimiwa.
Washtakiwa?
Huyu anyongo.
My name is Fikiri Kiponda. I am a wildlife warrior. The soft plastics, they look like jellyfish, which turtle end up confusing with their natural food.
She's finished laying her eggs and now she's covering them up. She swipes with her fins, chucking sand into the pit behind her where the eggs are.
Some turtle will do like 7 clutches.
This tiny crab could actually kill a baby turtle.
Turtle needs everyone's help. Otherwise, they might get into extinct.
This is Wildlife Warriors.
Mimi kuwa nawe it's a dream come true baby. Kiwa chini nitakubeba juju, takupa mapenzi paka uwe zuzu crazy. Systematically girl as you walk, so sweet lips as you talk. Nilivyokuona kwenye dance floor kitwak, girl I knew you got my back. Uwe na mimi mashambani, tupande mapenzi mpaka viwandani. Nikiwa ndani ndo burudani, nakupa vitamu tunda la peponi. Nataka ufurahi, my girl, nataka ujidai. Wanasema unifai, oh my, tuwatoe ni shy, my girl. Give me that sweet na 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 na. I give you my sweet banana na 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 na. So give me that sweet na na na. I give you back sweet banana. So give me that sweet na na na. I give you back sweet banana. Au mavala watakupa nini? Baki na mimi salama man magetoni. Wanapiga dili za wizi wizi, wanakuja kuwadanganya watoto wazuri hapa mjini baby. Chill na mimi niko real. Chapili baby na kufeel. Cha tatu mimi mtoto wa ghetto, mambo mseto. Napiga dili leo isiwe kama kesho. Ama vipi twende keje upate vitu tamu, ufurahi ukifeel zangu rhyme. Ama kesho twende Dar es Salaam, then 254 nyumbani ukamone man. Nataka ufurahi, my girl, nataka ujidai. Wanasema unifai, oh my, tuwatoe ni shy, my girl. Give me that sweet na 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 na. I give you my sweet banana na 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 na. So give me that sweet na na na. I give you back sweet banana. So give me that sweet na na na. I give you back sweet banana. So Ira, you make me feel my girl, as you give me again and again. I swear by the name of your mama, never lie. girl, don't pass my mind. Hey, you suck a bad boy, hey, you suck a bad nigga. You suck up under this life, yeah.
That is Edu Swaga's latest song?
No.
Not latest song, but that's why we are here, to have that conversation about music. And today we want to understand what exactly is the problem with doing music in the coast region. This is because a good number of artists who hail from that area, they would always tell you, Nairobi ndo kuna opportunities, Nairobi ndo kuna chances, huku ndo kuna shows. It's easier for me as an artist to do my craft and to do my artistry here. We have Edu Swaga, born in Migori, lived in Mombasa, partly doing his craft in Nairobi. Yani wewe umezunguka tu hivi.
Yeah. And after tu hiyo chance.
After tu hiyo chance. Sio rahisi kwa msanii by the way.
Yes, na wezi tu ka place moja. Lazima na Nairobi is the main place. Ndo industry iko. Because si hata wasanii wa Kenya tu, East Africa yote. Like kutoka TZ lazima tu kuja ku market Nairobi. Because in Nairobi ndo hub. I think maybe of Africa, hata Nigerians come here. So the moment umetoboa in Nairobi, it's easy.
It's easy for you. And of course, as you continue with the conversation, to try to build up a bit on that, also perhaps for viewers to understand why it's easy or difficult to do music in Mombasa and easy in Nairobi. But let's start with you as Edu Swaga, your upbringing, who you are, how was it growing up?
It has been a journey. Yeah, a very long journey, and obviously muziki iko hectic.
Unaisema na emotions.
Yeah, it's real. Muziki iko, it's a hard thing to do. Yeah, apart from having the creativity, the talent, you need some extra things. Like unahitaji do, mostly hiyo ndo main thing, and then connections. Yeah, you need connections. Lazima utembee ndo upate hizo connections. You can't just do it from, let me say nifanye from Migori and then I just stay there. Itakuwa so hard. Itachukua, you will die hata ujahit.
Na umekuwa 10 years kwa industry since 2011.
Yes, clearly 10th year.
This is the 10th year. Sindio 10th year. Clearly that has been a journey and a long journey. I mean a decade in the music space, not an easy feat. Na unasema something quite interesting, that lazima utafute mpaka connections. But kuna wale watakwambia kitu kizuri kinajiuza. Muziki kama ni safi, video ni safi,
And that's why I'm here. Because I do good things.
Okay.
But hata ufanye hizo vitu poa and you don't have connections. You'll just utazibaki tu ukijiwatch.
Utabaki ukijiimbia.
Utajiimbia tu.
Okay.
Lazima uwe na connections. Ujue penye unapeleka music yako after the good videos, the good vibe. Ujue place unaweza zimarket.
So in this 10 years of doing music, what has been your worst experience?
A different thing about me is I forget things, especially zenye zimekuwa zikini put down.
But hizo zinajenganga kwanza msanii.
Mi uzichukua, nazikula, naziswallow, and then I just move on. There's so many things. Nikianza ku-explain hizo 10 years, hata inaia peke yake, you can have some issues hapo katikati. That's 10 years. So hizo 10 years I have a lot of things zenye ziko hapo katikati, zenye sitaki kusema ati nataka kukumbuka.
But kuna tu kile kitu kimoja, because I'm asking this also for those artists that are coming up. I mean, I keep saying all the time, anytime we have this conversation about either music or arts all together, that art is not an easy space, and it takes just minus passion and talent, it takes a lot to even be in the art space and sema, this is it for me, you know. So kuna that one thing that perhaps you went through and you went like, this was to be a deal breaker for me. I'm at this point ninge quit, but nonetheless.
There's maybe a recent one. I was in some production, and then I had a song with Juma Nature from Tanzania. Then the producer just decided to go cold on me. Hiyo nyimbo akachukua hivyo. So I had to begin again, nikaenda production ingine, nikaenda nikairedo ikabidi niongee na jamaa tume vocals tena nini, so mimi naona kama hiyo ndio ilikuwa latest na ni challenge because labda ingekuwa young artist labda angesema basi muziki ni hard. Kama hii labda ndio ilikuwa opportunity juu labda Jumanete is a big artist maybe from the other side, then ukipatia challenge unaweza sema acha ikae. But I niliredo again in at the coast.
Yes. So ulianza fresh
at the coast na ilikuwa imefanywa Migori. Yes, so ilichukua tena other procedures like from beginning from the ground,
financing,
yes, everything, a new beat and everything. Yes.
And I'm always particular on experiences because I'm a firm believer that experiences in a very big way they shape the kind of people that we are as a person in a society. If I'm to look at you and say that mse kuna vile nani impact, it is from their experiences, you know, what they've been through, what they've gone through, and all of that. So aside from the worst experiences, or even better still, that being one of you perhaps worst that you can remember, that not of the way you're saying, kama ni mtani anaanza akasema ai mimi ni record wimbo nishaka finances nishatafuta kama ni
no mse ako mbali
as in basically connect everything together, then you come and just disband everything, then I have to start afresh again from the onset, back up from financing. It's really not an easy thing.
Yeah, like most of the people I believe mse angesema kwani project lazima nifanye, anaachana nayo anafanya ingine. But me I just push on my projects zote.
And at which point have you looked at your music journey in these 10 years na ukasema wow, I'm glad I chose music?
I think last year at the beginning of the pandemic, when people were crying foul of the pandemic, I was busy recording, and that's the time when I got to release so many songs. Yes, good songs that zimeniweka sahi kwa limelight.
Wow, so wewe time watu walikuwa nasema hakuna job, hakuna shows.
Sasa hiyo time ndo mimi sasa nashinda tu kwa studio nikirecord.
Una record hapo na pale. Okay, talk to us a bit about that song Sweet Banana.
Sweet Banana, hiyo song ilikuwa ni demand ya the female let me say the female fans. The female fans,
yes. Your female fans.
Yes. Walikuwa wanasema wewe ufanya nyimbo za club tu za yani si kuruka lakini haina ile affection ya madem kidogo. Nikamwambia okay, that's what you want. Kasema okay fine, let's do this. So hii ilikuwa ni ya love lakini ni ya gangster love. Ile
gangster love.
Si ile ya kihindi.
Which one is which one now? Love is love.
No. Unapenda mse ile love ya bad boy. You know, it's different from ile affection sana ya kubembelezana. But kuna ile tu unapenda jamaa ni mrui lakini you in love.
Okay. It's interesting. All right, so in general unazaje describe your music style?
I do like Afro dancehall because nyimbo zangu unaweza sikia ina sound kama Afro reggae, hip hop kidogo, Kenyan, Tanzania, East Africa. I'm East African.
So haujakuwa categorical ama particular that I'm now doing reggae only or I'm doing perhaps African R&B or R&B only, hip hop? For you it's all these things?
Yes, I call it Afro dancehall.
Afro dancehall.
It's a fusion of African and Swahili but in a dancehall way. Niko danceable.
Okay. Going with that kind of perspective ama that kind of music style, how feel ama haujapata wale mafanzo wanakuambia na feel nika hauko focus because leo unaweza tutolea R&B style, kesho tutolee Kiswahili, kesho tutolee hip hop?
The funny thing is crowd yangu inapenda hivyo. Inapenda yani wamekuja kupenda whatever I do. Like now any song I release inakuwa iko better than hizo zingine.
The previous one.
So I think they like it like that. It's only one person mwenye aliniambia I like it when you do hip hop. Is a cousin of mine. But sieti aliniambia verbally ako mbali. So alinitext akaniambia manze uko na tracks fit but I really like your songs wakati unafanya kama hip hop. So ni hivyo tu.
How did that make you feel? Because already, by you choosing to do that Afropop, Afrobeat, Nikitulkosha decided I want to do a bit of all these genres, or a bit of all these styles. So when you get someone who's perhaps close to you, because a cousin is a family member, sindio, anakwambia, I think hip hop is best suited for you. Did it make you feel like, maybe I want to change a bit, or maybe I can rethink it?
No. I believe in whatever I'm doing.
Okay.
So, na pia, kuna songs zingine like most collabos zenye mi ufanya, I do like karibu to hip hop. So, ninajua kitu anataka. I knew what he was wanting. So, inakuja, ama alishasikia before ndo akaniambia, you do, unafanya vizuri kwa hip hop. So, alikuwa amenisikia before kwa labda nyimbo ingine. So, kuna ingine pia yenye ninaingia kama hip hop. So atapenda nyimbo some, but generally anapenda to whatever I do. Yeah.
Then from your perspective, I mean, Edu, what does that say about msanii kukuwa farm? Because pia you'll get fans watakwambia, I think sauti yako iko suited for R&B. I think personality yako iko suited for hip hop. But maybe unataka kufanya reggae. Ama you're doing reggae already. Talk to us and make us understand the importance of an artist kukua firm in what they already want, what they know, what they believe in, where they're going.
Inakuwaga hivi before you begin, before create your fan base.
Yeah.
Kuna unakuanga na hauna main style ya kufanya. But inafika point where you already unajiestablish kwa style flani. Na mafano wako, fan base yako inajua jamaa anafanya this kind of music. So wanakupea hiyo tu attention, and you need not to change, you need to stand firm kwa hiyo. Ndo wase wajue if you need this type of songs, there's Edu Swaga. You want to listen this kind of songs, let's look for Edu Swaga. So unataka kusikiza R&B, tutafute labda Nadia. Unaona inakuanga hivyo. Unataka hip hop, Calligraph. So unajibrand kwa style yako vile uko.
Okay.
Yeah, inakuwa very important.
Okay, now regardless of what fans wanasema, at least you know this is who I am, this is what I'm doing and all of that.
And again, unajua kila mtu akona perception yake. Like if you follow kila kitu yenye mse any other person anakuja kukuambia, utakuna unapotea. Yeah, so lazima ujue kitu wewe unataka kufanya, and then if you know fans wako washaanza ku accept you na some crowd, then you need to do it more and gain more crowds. But ukianza kuchange, utaanza kutafuta tena new fans for what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay, and I think that's why it was important for me to ask, how important is it for an artist, especially those upcoming, kukuwa na a firm stand that this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is where I want to go, and all that together. Now, born in Migori, lived in Mombasa, sort of doing music in Nairobi. How is it doing music in Mombasa and in Nairobi? How can you compare these two places?
I was born in Kuria, Kuria West.
Yeah.
I'm a Kurian.
Okay.
I went to study in Mombasa. Mombasa, time nilikuwa huko, game ilikuwa chini. So, but again nilikuwa shule. So, tumekuwa tukingangana istand kama like Nairobi now. Unajua Nairobi iko already established. Tangu kitambo, from the times kina Genge, kina Isa. At least game ilijishape hapa. Then at that time at the coast, tulikuwa tunajaribu kushape game. Lakini unfortunately mimi nilitoka tena nikarudi Migori. So kurudi Migori walibaki kina Susumila. Lakini again, I just stand vile Nairobi me stand. That's why you see ukitaka ku market, hata msaki kwa na ngoma poa at the coast, lazima akuje Nairobi, akuje market. We have so many TVs are in Nairobi. Like media karibu yote. Radios that you need, zinasikika nchi mzima ziko Nairobi. In Mombasa, radio za huko zinasikizwa tu pwani. Kuna radio ya coast yenye inafika Nairobi, I think. Ama Kenya mzima. Like other places. So lazima tu kuja Nairobi kufanya music. If you really want to be big, lazima market in Nairobi.
That has been a challenge with most artists, if I can say. Wala unatoka pa uko coast, when wanafanya both in coast and Nairobi, ama moved from coast all together, now they're in Nairobi. Na si mara ya kwanza, they constantly keep saying that. Let me pick your mind on, do you feel that maybe the state inaweza fanya something, ama the different stakeholders in the music space can do something to also equip and empower that area, that inakuwa easy for msanii, si lazima kuja Nairobi, because we have also the 3 major cities, we have Mombasa, Nairobi, Kisumu, they're trying to move slowly to Nakuru as well. So kama kila mtu kwa Nairobi, not all artists actually live and come from here. Talent is across board.
Yeah, lakini sasa unajua hiyo ni gava. I think systems za government. Si msanii. No, si msanii. Si msanii kabisa. Ingekuwa ni msanii, ingekuwa we have an artist mwenye ana trend, anatoka labda Wajia. Ama anatoka Kisumu mwenye ana trend.
Na talent ziko mpaka huko.
Zote, na hawa se watu unaona Nairobi, hizo talents zote. Hawa sisi wa hapa. Yes, Masauti anatoka Mombasa, Otile Brown anatoka Malindi. But sasa inamaanisha lazima ukujuka hapa ndo ufanye hivyo. So government, maybe inaweza sema government ama bodies zenye ziko zinajiassociate na music, lazima wakuwe serious. Kama wanataka kujenga wasanii, lazima tu wakuwe serious, wajenge wasanii kutoka mashinani hadi huko.
But utapata wengine watasema much as that is a challenge, even the way you're explaining it, perhaps the bodies nafazi kuwe more serious, kuwe more into trying to build artists. Some would say, but pia wasanii, the kind of content they create,
see you choose. Like unajua content yetu swaga iko fit kwa wazazi na kwa watoto. You choose, unaweka hapo na una support tu jamaa. But mbona una find in Kenya unapata msee hata ana content ndo anapata airplays. Lakini ukitafuta wale wasio na content and good music, wako tu hawajiskumi. Yani okay, hawezi jiskuma juu ya system vile iko. System ya Kenya ni lazima tu ujipush. Uko na marketing strategies, ujuane na watu, uskume. Lakini you do good, like me, ni connection ndo zimenifikisha huku. Juu I was doing good music, msee tu realize uko tu hapa bana, na kuna wasee wanacheza huko mbele na kuna kitu wanatuambia, hawana vibe. Then even una get kumove. Lakini hiyo pia ina take time. Ukitaka kumove haraka, come to Nairobi, tafuta pesa, jiskume na content yako.
You want to look for money, come to Nairobi. But also there's some things we can do, at least to also empower those places. Sindio nasema wasanii wako everywhere, artists are everywhere. They're not only found in Nairobi.
The bodies now.
The bodies, okay.
MCSK. Hizo.
I'm sure wana watch wanasikia.
Yes, hawa jamaa wako serious. Unaona kila siku artists to complain about MCSK na nini. Si wa change tu wasaidia wase.
Okay. All right, let's talk about marketing strategy. Again, in itself pia inakuanga a challenge. It's a challenge. Msanii anakuja anasema mimi niko na talent, niko na passion. I have my different artworks. Kama ni perhaps acting, I've done ABC and D. If it's singing, niko na ngoma 1, 2, 3. I mean, I have good music. It just needs to sell. Place your marketing in arts. Tell us.
After recording an audio, the second challenge is the video, and the third biggest challenge for you to make it is marketing. Na marketing hapo ndo wasanii wengi ufail, because unapata audio maybe anaweza ngangana afanye audio, angangana afanye video yenye si nzuri sana, lakini sasa ikifika point ya marketing unapata wasanii wengi wana fail. Na si kupenda kwao, because marketing ina need sit lazima ati kuhongana. I don't mean that. As in, you must move. Ukuja Nairobi, lazima uende sehemu fulani, lazima umeet mtu fulani, because wezi meet mtu kwa barabara. Lazima umu-invite, umwambie I do this thing. Na hiyo yote inahitaji lazima uko na at least kitu ama uko na manager.
So it's also important.
Yeah, it's very important.
It's a question of talent and passion.
No.
And
in fact, marketing is the most important thing.
Okay, it's the most important thing in music.
In music.
Okay. Then why do perhaps most artists don't quite think that way? Why is there that notion of just I have talent, you can see my work?
Now, pia nika umeenda tu shule, umesoma, umefanya engineering. Alafu umeenda kukaa kwa nyumba. Nani atakuita?
Na hiyo karatasi yako.
Hakuna mtu atakuita. So lazima utoke nje ujimarket. Ndo wase waone dema amefanya engineering, anaweza fanya hii na hii. Cha tumjaribu hapo.
Okay, that's quite interesting. All right. Now, there's this song. I was just looking at it actually. Thank you. Is it like a gospel song?
Yes.
Does that in any way make your style ikaeni kama iko confused?
No. Ukiangalia Thank You Lord ina beats kama za reggae. Yes, that's why iko Afro dancehall. So inaimbika again, lakini me all I base on is content.
Okay.
Lazima tu niandike fiti, wase wapate message, seti ni ngoma tu ati wase wasikilize tu, then wasikize tu beats. Hapana. Mimi ni ile yenye unaweza toa beats and you can listen to my vibe zangu tu na ubambike na ama zikujenge. Yeah.
Okay.
Juu kama hiyo Thank You Lord ni appreciation na pia kuambia, yani appreciation to God na kuambia wase vile wanafaa kuishi. But I don't go to church, but naamini Mungu.
Wow. You don't go to church but unaamini Mungu.
Yes,
na hata uko na ngoma ya gospel.
2.
Thank
You Lord. Thank You Lord is a collab na Jordan. Then there's another one inaitwa Asante Mungu.
Yeah. All right. Honestly, I would want to director anasema time inaisha, lakini mimi I want to ask you this question. What do you think about secular artists? And this has been happening recently. Wako, yani ni kama mtu anagusia tu. Tunamjua ka secular artists, perhaps even someone like you, but anagusia gospel, ngoma moja, ngoma mbili, anarudi kwa style yake, kidogo kidogo tena anakaa ngoma nyingine moja.
Hii inakuanga hasa ni moyo. Ile tu yani feeling. Unaimba mpaka una feel,
ni God manze.
Si God ameni bless aje. Acha niweke God hapa. Unaweka Mungu mbele na unasonga. Na by the way hata nyimbo zangu za gospel, yani hizo 2, kuna watu uzipenda sana like every day lazima upate tu hii nyimbo imeni bless sana. Mwingine anakuambia isikuje church, mpaka unashangaa church unaanzaje kwenda.
So naenda tu kwani shida iko wapi? All right. What next for Edu Swaga?
I have a new song. Nimeachia like a week and 2 days ago. Inafanya poa, inaitwa Take It Easy. And I have a new project that I'm going to release in the next first. Ambaye it's a big collab.
1st of October.
Of October.
Okay.
Nimefanya na jamaa anatoka ni vlogger anaitwa Yamaro. He stays in the US. So niko na pia na nyimbo na Juma Nature zinakuja. Niko na some good collabs, sitaki ku reveal kila kitu, but niko hapo to my game sasa. Tumeingia naye, tunataka kusumbua pia hii mtaa kidogo. Kabisa.
You also have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
How can people get your content, your music?
Edu Swaga everywhere. Just write Edu Swaga. Inakuja, unaiunganisha yote hiyo word. Watu i separate ndo maana wana nini?
Wana kukosa. Watushawaambia sasa.
Andika tu Edu Swaga yenye imeshikana. Afu naachia hapo. Unazipata zote kila platform.
All right. Thank you so much Edu Swaga for coming.
Thank you for hosting me.
Making us understand perhaps what the challenge is when it comes to doing music in the coast, Nairobi, and what different bodies can do, and also what artists as a whole can do to push brand zao. Yeah. All right. Time for us to take another quick breather. Good morning Kenya bado inaendelea. Stay with us. When we return, plenty more on the other side of the break. So much.
I Bobby on the beat.
Living a life with no instructions, so when I do mistakes, don't give me questions. I got the vibe everybody wanna listen to. One man, I'm about to run them crew, Mr. Chairman. They call me God. If you call me lover, man, I like that. I've been to hell, I've been back. I've been running kilometers in the car. Easy, peace of mind, peace of mind. So take it easy, peace of mind, peace of mind. But I take it easy, some peace of mind, peace of mind. So take it easy, peace of mind, peace of mind. Everybody want a better life. No wonder every man in a me others know why. I wanna move to some greater heights. I never wanna be like them hypocrites. They believe I'm a bad man because they're friends to my haters, to my haters. Shut up boy, Mr. Rundown. See me every day, I double my paper. Mr. Chairman, they call me that. But if you call me lover, man, I like that. I've been to hell, I've been back. I've been running kilometers. Take it easy. Peace of mind, peace of mind. So take it easy. Peace of mind, peace of mind. But I take it easy. Peace of mind, peace of mind. So take it easy. Peace of mind, peace of mind. Call them girls that you get them busy. Those nice guys, you know we do them easy. Come in a me yard, girl, I get you busy. In a bad man style, you know.
RDE Records.
Peace of mind, peace of mind. Peace of mind, peace of mind.
Him near you, my dearest son. And I don't have any doubt that he was the one who shot Victoriano. If you had listened to me, Vicente, you would still be alive. No. You wouldn't dare tell Emiliano.
Then don't try me.
No, don't come in! Victoriano! Victoriano! Victoriano, get me out of here! Victoriano!
He said that you hired me to get revenge on him.
I can't resist her, brother. Billa's stunning. Be careful moving. Billa is our father's woman. You are a disgrace to our house, a dishonor upon our family.
Stop it!
I want Dina to be my wife. I am a Hebrew, sir. I am here because my brother sold me as a slave to Jatur, the slave trader.
Your own brothers? They sold you? What is your name, boy?
My name is Joseph, sir. I miss my mother and my father terribly. I miss my family, my brother Benjamin, and my sister Dina.
By the power given to me, I now declare Makoa na Roslyn as husband and wife. Makoa, you can kiss your bride.
Wow.
Wewe.
Ulisema hapo mbele, fisi ndio yuko na tamaa. Between mimi na huyu, nani fisi?
Na kwa nini wewe unakubali kwenda kupanga njama ya mtu mwingine atolewe roho kwa sababu wewe upate pesa?
Hatuko tumemaliza.
Alafu naye huyu mama pia huna hata haya mbele ya koti.
Huyu anyongo mheshimiwa.
Washtakiwa?
Huyu anyongo.
An hour of time we don't have, Farah. I say we listen to what Kenyanjui has to say, right?
How about we focus on the task at hand?
Will you come off my back, Katito? I am a woman, I can multitask.
Now that you guys have all of a sudden decided to be Mother Teresa's, let me take my leave.
What kind of nonsense is this? Eh? Why can't you just speak normally?
Farah, shut up. You're not the director.
Will you pay attention?
You are just about to arrest him.
I shall do no such a thing.
Goodbye.
Classmates, every Saturday on KBC.
Za kinyumbani, sauti za kinyumbani, sauti zimeenda shule, sauti ziko na degree, ndio hizo, si ndio?
Kabisa.
You know, honestly, I'm just particular about your voice. This is Tina Brown. At her the face, the skin color, she describes the name Tina Brown. I'm so particular about your voice because while I was watching your content, to be honest, that's the first thing I was drawn to. Then when I went down on the comment section on YouTube, incidentally, that is also what, you know, your fans are commenting mostly about.
Exactly.
It's your voice.
Yeah.
What's it about it? Ni nini ni ndimu, ni tangawizi?
Ni talent. So
jamani.
Yeah, ni talent. Yeah.
There's nothing you do, you don't like, you know, unajua hizi sauti people some take concussions. There's that voice practice also, by the way.
Actually, sijaanza hata vocal training. Naona nikianza nitatesa sana jamani.
Jamani, confidence too.
Yeah, I think mtu nimezaliwa tu nayo. Yeah, ni ile talent kwa ndani yangu. Yeah.
Okay. Kiswahili basi kimetokea kule
baharini. No. Actually sijaishi Mombasa. Yeah, lakini nikiwa shule, nikiwa pale primary school and high school, nilikuwa na kariri sana mashairi. Nilikuwa bingwa wa poems na mashairi. So mwalimu wangu alikuwa ametoka Mombasa. So
just before you continue, Tina, we are trying to get your voice, but before we get to continue with Tina, but we want to take her music again. Yani lazima msikie hii sauti as we work on her voice. And then we come back with the conversation.
Okay.
If I die, I will die with you, and if I run, I will run with you.
Nilisema musikie sauti za kinyumbani kwanza before tuendelee. Now here we are still with Tina Brown. Tina, we were saying, just trying to understand, yani sauti yako ni concussion wa unakunywa, voice trainings umefanya?
Yeah.
Ni which one? Ama you it's just talent?
Yangu tu ni talent. Ni kitu nimezaliwa nayo. Yeah, exactly.
Alafu pia Kiswahili kinatokea kule
baharini. Unajua Kiswahili ilikuwa my favorite subject when I was in school. Alafu pia nilikuwa bingwa wa kukariri mashairi. Nikiwa pale primary school and high school. So nimegrow na hiyo Kiswahili, so nikakuwa na ule uzoefu. Yeah.
Wa kuongea hicho Kiswahili.
Yeah, napenda Kiswahili sana.
Basi tusiwe ulimi. Tuongee tu. Before we even continue the conversation, tell us a bit about that song, because you played it since before we began.
Yeah.
Your number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number one I released this year. That's my first single. Nilitoa March. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa my first project. And it's like a blessing to me. Ni ngoma napenda sana because nilitoa ila wakati kulikuwa na COVID, hakukuwa na pesa, hakuna shows, hakuna nothing. Lakini ile talent ilinipush kaniambia, nilifeel like time yangu imefika. Nikasema how long will I going to wait ati ndo nianze muziki, ni feel like niko sawa, sasa nataka kuanza muziki. So nilisema hata kama sina pesa, hata kama sijajipanga, I'm going to start no matter what. Yeah, na sasa venye nilianza vitu niliona tu zimejipanga tu, Mungu akanibariki, nikaanza kushoot mpaka video. Yani nimepata a lot of favors na ni kitu najivunia sana. Yeah.
And that song iko na story.
Iko na story.
And also being your first single, no matter your time, your COVID, of course that's between February, March there.
Yeah.
And you have quite a number of singles in just a span of 1 year. Yani msana unajituma.
Najituma kabisa. Naamini kila kitu ni bidii. Naona ukijituma hata Mungu anakufungulia milango. Yeah. Usingoje ati ukue na pesa mingi sana ndo uanze kufanya kitu. Just start where you are. Na watu wakipenda kazi yako, kuna mtu anakuambia I'm going to sponsor half of your project. Kuna mtu anakusaidia pia na marketing, just like that. Yeah, so wewe jitume tu, fanya kazi yako. Ingine achia Mungu. Yeah.
Ingine achia Mungu. Okay, let's just stay a bit kwa hiyo number one, because the way you are saying earlier is that it has a story. Na pia kwa tunaiongelea before we went on air. And you are telling me how sometimes kuna ile perspective ya ni very hard kufanya muziki because it's expensive.
Yeah. Actually, when you're starting, it's not that expensive, yeah?
Venye watu nafikiria.
Venye watu nafikiria, because even me, ile kitu imenizuia kufanya muziki for a long time, nilikuwa nafikiria kwamba lazima niwe na pesa mingi sana. Yeah, maana nilikuwa naambiwa hivyo na watu, lakini lazima nikuwe na pesa mingi. Lakini sasa venye nilianza, you find that you're not going to spend a lot like venye ulikuwa naambiwa na watu. So unatafuta tu watu wanakuamini, you have a good team, they believe in you. Si mtu atakuwaste. Manake kuna watu hapo nje wanakuwaste. All they care about is your money. So just find a good team to work with and watakupatia direction. Yeah.
Sasa hii video tuambie, ndio wale upcoming artists wenye nafikiria ni ngumu, lazima nikuwe na pesa ya video, ya audio, ya marketing, ya kuleta dancers if I want to have dancers, magaldem kama nataka kuwaleta pale wakuje kwa video something. Hiyo pesa umeniambia mpaka baki uko sure hiyo ndio pesa ulitumia kwa hiyo video? Hebu tuambie mafans.
Yeah, ndio nakwambia kwamba mimi nilipata.
How much was it?
Number one, actually I didn't spend a lot because nilifanyia Malende. Yeah, na kuna mwanadada alikuwa anafanya video pale. So director wangu akaniambia, since you don't have a lot of money, I'm going to put you in the mix. Yani ni kama nitakushoot kwa venue ya ule mwanadada.
Okay.
Yeah, so nakwambia like we anza tu, vitu zitajieka tu.
With the little that you have.
With the little 40, that you have, 30. Just start. Exactly. Si lazima tuende kwa producer mkubwa, anakucharge audio 30,000, 40,000. Just start na mwenye anafanya kazi nzuri, lakini ako na reasonable rates.
Okay.
Yeah, bora tu kazi yake ni safi. You can just start with anybody. Exactly.
Okay. Pia kuna another aspect we were talking about rather earlier, hiyo ya lack of mentorship. Na hii ndio kitu ambacho kimekufanya take a while before decide let me start. Watu wa kukuguide kukwambia industry inakaa hivi, kwa mfano natakana ufanye muziki hivi na hivi. How was it for you just not having a mentor, but this is really what you wanted to do kama msanii?
Unajua myself, I do a lot of research. Mimi mara mingi saa zile I'm free. Utanipata either I'm listening to music, I'm listening to interviews ya wasanii. I'm researching more about music. So ile time nimeona like I have to start music, nilikuwa na a lot of knowledge. Nilikuwa nimejua a lot about music. Yeah, lakini neza advice mtu kama unapata mtu anakuguide vizuri, ni vizuri kuwa na mentor pale, akuonyeshe njia, manake watu watakuwaste sana. Yeah. Pia mimi kuna watu walikuwa wamejaribu kuni waste nikianza, lakini unajua sasa mimi I'm very sharp before I do something I have to do research. Yeah, kuna watu walikuwa wananiambia ati I have to give them like 20,000 to open a YouTube channel. Then I was like,
how do you open a YouTube channel with money?
Exactly, so I had to do a research. Na hiyo mtu alikuwa ashamed sana. So wale conmen wako wengi sana, kuna matapeli wengi sana hapo nje. So just be careful. Do a lot of research before doing something. Yeah.
Now that you are here, at least perhaps 1 year later, with these various singles zenye uko nazo, kuna mentor ulipata, and how can you compare the time when you perhaps didn't with this time?
Yeah, okay. Venye nimeanza muziki nimepata na very good people.
Yeah.
Watu wanani embrace, they are loving what I'm doing, na wananipatia advice each and every day. And hiyo ni kitu bado inanisaidia sana. Manake music is very tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so
Art
difficult.
in general is not an easy.
It's not easy,
space.
Especially when you're starting. It's very difficult. So kuna watu wanani advice hapo nje, wananiambia fanya hivi, usifanye hivi. Na ni kitu inanisaidia sana. Yeah.
Kwa mtazamo wako ukiangalia wasanii hata ambao wanachipuka, kwa mfano maybe kama wewe hivi, na maybe various others, when you look at this question or issue of mentorship, do you feel like this is one of the things that ina lack sana kwa hii industry ya muziki na hata arts in general? That perspective of just having someone kukuguide, kukwambia industry inakaa hivi, inatakana uko kibehave hivi, inatakana uko kufanya vitu zikikaa hivi, you know, things such as that. Is that one of the things lacking, mentorship?
Yeah, it's lacking. Manake si kila mtu anakutakia mazuri. Yeah, hiyo ni kitu ina lack sana. Yeah.
Na pia kuna wale mentors wenye ataki uende father
hataki ufunguke macho, anataka tu akuweke hapo umezunguka tu place moja, hataki uone light, manake labda anataka akutumie. Yeah, so fungua tu macho, just look for the best people you can work with. Watu wanakutakia the best for you. Yeah.
What about that aspect here, research? Because unasema kwamba wewe research, one and the same thing, you do research a lot about the area that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Now again, when you look at still music in general, do you also feel hiyo ni kitu ambayo pia ina lack? Because why I'm asking that is because, and I keep saying this all the time, ukiangalia kwa art space, wasanii wengi, and this but they cuts across because art is very diverse. You know, mtu anakuambia mimi niko na passion, niko na wimbo kama 6, kama pengine wewe 6 5. Sasa research ni ya nini? Na watch interviews za nini? Unaona?
Yeah. Research is very important in whatever field you are in. Whether you are a teacher, you are a doctor, you are who, research ni muhimu sana. Because knowledge huaishi. Knowledge haitaisha. Na every day is a learning process. So when you do research, you get to learn a lot of things. So it's very important to research any field that you are in.
Right.
Yeah.
And just like we keep saying, anytime we have this entertainment conversation interviews, it's not just about talent, passion, creativity. This thing is all rounded and it goes beyond. Tina, you're also into fashion.
Yeah.
Into music. How do you do all these things?
Okay, fashion naifanya kama biashara.
Kwa sababu this isn't actually these are careers or areas that require a lot of input.
Exactly.
And research with that creativity, it requires a lot of input.
Yeah. So actually what I'm doing, I'm into fashion business. Yeah, so that's I do as part-time job because right now I can't depend on music 100%. Manake anza kunilipa, unaona? So lazima nikuwe na kitu pale kando inanipatia pesa kidogo. Yeah, so ukitaka kurembeka nione kando.
Au shasema basi watazamaji wanaangalia wakitaka kurembeka uko tu hapa.
Exactly.
All right. Now looking at this 1 year in which you've been in music.
Yeah.
At what point would you say that actually I've had a good experience? Because ushatambia ile worst yenye mtu akajaribu kutapeli kuambia YouTube unafungwa na hii amount, you know, in a way that can deter you from even continuing to do music.
Yeah.
So at what point have you had your best moments and you went like, wow, I'm glad, much as nilianza perhaps kind of late, but I'm glad I chose music?
What I can say, na ni kitu imenipatia moral sana, ni ati watu wame-embrace what I'm doing. Watu wamependa kazi yangu sana. Hata ukienda pale kwa comment section, all positive comments manze. Na ni kitu nipatia moral. Watu wananiambia niendelee kutoa more good music.
More hits.
So at least the going doesn't look bad. The direction I'm headed, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your style of doing music? Ni style gani? Inakaa more of slow kind of love songs? Is that your style?
Actually I'm doing love songs. Inaweza ikakuwa slow, inaweza ikakuwa banga, inaweza ikakuwa rumba, inaweza ikakuwa reggae. So I'm not tied to at least a specific genre. All I'm doing is love songs. Yeah.
So you're choosing to be diverse.
Exactly.
Actually, that's a thing I've noticed with artists wasasa. They will tell you, or someone will tell you, I just don't want to do rumba only, like you're saying. I just don't want to do R&B only. And they're calling it an Afropop.
It's an Afropop, exactly.
I want to do like, you know, different styles that exist. Why is that? Mbona tu mtu asikuwe specific that I want to do reggae and it's reggae?
You can be specific manake, muziki ina change sana. Kama sasa hivi tuko na mapiano. Maybe 2 years to come takuwa na style ingine. So you cannot tie yourself to like one sound. You see like Diamond Platnumz. I think hakuna style hajafanya.
Kiswahili lakini amefanya styles.
Exactly. So hata mimi nataka kufanya hivyo.
Okay. Tell us a bit about Hamu also. Your song.
Hamu is my latest project. Nimeachilia last month. It's a slow song. It's a romantic song. Hii ngoma nilieka feelings zangu pale ndani. I just love it because it has a different vibe. It's somehow an Afro. It has an Afro beat kind of style. And ni kitu watu wamependa sana. Wanaambia it looks different from the normal Kenyan sound. Watu wamekufurahia sana and it's good music.
It's good music. Do you have a story as to why you do mostly of these love songs?
Actually, when I was growing, nikiwa mdogo, I think from 10 years old, I was listening to Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Rihanna, those love songs. So they really inspired me to also do love songs. So nikitu nimegrow nayo. They really inspired me.
Honestly, I thought like there was like you know like those stories of this happened to me, there was this person.
No.
So it's mostly the person that you grew up listening to and the person that inspires you. Okay. All right, good enough. As you finish up, Tina Drought, what next for you as an artist who's still starting with a bright future, people loving your work already? Nini kingine?
What I can tell people is that they should expect more and more good music. I'm not resting till I give you nothing but good music, guys. So you better follow me on my social media platforms. Kila mahali unipate pale Tina Brown. YouTube ni Tina Brown. Enda pale subscribe to my channel. Facebook unipate Tina Brown. Instagram, Twitter na TikTok unipate Tina Brown _KE. Exactly.
Follow her there. And it's the confidence for me.
Thank you.
This generation was we have audacity, but hey, it's important. All right. You want to take a very short musical break? We return back with the last segment of Good Morning Kenya. Stay tuned.
On the beat. Niko na hamu, baby tukutane kwenye bichi. Nikupe mapenzi matamu, utabaki ukinimisi. Walikuhada, wakasema mapenzi siwezi. Walikukaba na maneno ya uongo. Baby, haja unisusie, uninyime penzi. Lakini sikuachi no, hata wafanye vipi. Maneno domo hawaniwezi.
kupata. Panda mbegu ninyunyizie, baba mkulima wangu. Na penzi tulipalilie, kila usiku nikumbate. Wembe nisiulilie, kila usiku nikatekate. Mana baby niwe moyo nimepinda kwako. Niruhusu niote na wewe, nikufikirie. Juu wangu moyo una ham-ham, natamani penzi tam-tam. Juu wangu moyo una ham-ham, natamani penzi tam-tam. Juu wangu moyo una ham-ham, natamani penzi tam-tam. Juu wangu moyo una ham-ham, ushike uso, natamani penzi tam-tam. Nikupapase, una ham, utulize moyo, natamani penzi tam-tam. Nikukumbate, una ham, nikushike uso, natamani penzi tam-tam. Nikupapase, una ham,
I don't want him near you, my dearest son. And I don't have any doubt that he was the one who shot Victoriano. If you had listened to me, Vicente, you would still be alive. No. You wouldn't dare tell Emiliano.
Then don't try me.
No, don't come in! Victoriano! Victoriano, get me out of here! Victoriano!
He said that you hired me to get revenge on him.
I can't resist her, brother. Billa's stunning. Be careful, Ruben. Billa is our father's woman. You are a disgrace to our house, a dishonor upon our family.
stop it!
I want Dina to be my wife. I am a Hebrew, sir. I am here because my brother sold me as a slave to Jatur, the slave trader.
Your own brothers? They sold you? What is your name, boy?
My name is Joseph, sir. I miss my mother and my father terribly. I miss my family, my brother Benjamin, and my sister Dina.
By the power given to me, I now declare Makoa na Roslyn as husband and wife. Makoa, you can kiss your bride.
Wow. Wewe ulisema hapo mbele fisi ndio yuko na tamaa between mimi na huyu.
Na kwa nini wewe unakubali kwenda kupanga njama ya mtu mwingine atolewe roho kwa sababu wewe upate pesa?
Hatuko tumemaliza.
Alafu naye huyu mama pia huna hata haya mbele ya koti.
Huyu anyongo mheshimiwa.
Washtakiwa?
Huyu anyongo.
That's an hour of time we don't have, Farah. I say we listen to what Kenyanjui has to say, right?
How about we focus on the task at hand?
Will you come off my back, Katito? I am a woman, I can multitask.
Now that you guys have all of a sudden decided to be Mother Teresas, let me take my leave.
What kind of nonsense is this? Why can't you just speak normally?
Pasefara, shut up. You're not the director.
Atito. Will you pay attention? You are just about to arrest him.
I shall do no such a thing.
Goodbye.
Classmates, every Saturday on KBC.
from Jamaica, land we love, just the way we are. And this is the video. No MSG, no preservatives, no additives, no nothing. Just the way we are. Check it out. Oh gosh, man.
Terrace Riley, just the way you are.
Oh, my love you, woman, my love you. Yeah, you have your own style. I got to love you, you know me love you. Yeah. Hey. She wants to be like them people on TV. She wants to look like them girls in the magazine. She got big dreams. She see herself on the big screen. She asks, do you love me? I say you're just right. Absolutely, I love you just the way you are, girl. You don't have to change, you don't have to do a thing, no, just the way you are, girl. If you put on a powder, if you take off a pound, just the way you are, girl. Wake up with no makeup when I break up, just the way you are, girl. In my eyes, you're a star, girl. Hey, she fit me, and she give me love plenty. Yeah, she authentic. This are the real thing, this are the plastic. See, I got big plans. Are you flipping the wife from now your husband? She said, what is it you like about me? Mr. Woman, you're not fit, change nothing. I love you just the way you are, girl. You don't have to change, you don't have to do a thing, no, just the way you are, girl. If you put on a powder, if you take off a pound, babe, just the way you are, girl. Wake up with no makeup when I break up, just the way you are, girl. And in my eyes, you're a star, girl. Yeah. Oh, ooh, boo, 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 yeah. Hey, star girl. Jano, hey. Sure. My girlfriend so classy, with the brains and the body of a champion. She a my Miss World, me a the Mr. Man. And she broader than a Kardashian. Me dey even watch TV. Inna me heart, me have a beauty queen. No man no lucky like me. I'm blessed to have you, my baby. I love you just the way you are, girl. You don't have to change, you don't have to do a thing, no, just the way you are, girl. If you put on a powder, if you take off a pound, just the way you are, girl. You wake up with no makeup when I break up, just the way you are, girl. In my eyes, you're a star, girl. She's my star girl, first lady, top actress, made for me, star girl, boy.
Goma zalia na mimi nataka
smooth operator na eyebrows. Lakini kwa nini? Mbona wanaume wanakuanga na eyebrows nyingi kutuliko?
Olo kuna highlights.
Because we sweat a lot.
Highlights. Ay.
Because we sweat a lot. You know, the work of the eyebrows is to stop the sweat from dropping into your eyes.
Lakini naturally nyinyi hamuhitaji eyebrows nyingi kutuliko.
God was Allah.
Do you know how eyebrows can just give somebody a complete different meaning from what you intend to communicate?
Saloonists are you good friends. You are good friends. Hata kutushinda. So what did you expect?
It is well.
It is well.
Now, as we draw closer and closer to the end of the program, we always get to close the week with our trending topics segment. And today we don't have much time, so let's just dive straight into it. And of course, we know Ferdinand Omanyala, fastest man in Africa, 9.77 seconds in the 100-meter sprint. I think we have the clip for the Olympics. I don't know if Super Director unaweza katuchezea kidogo. Iko tayari?
There you go.
Hopes of banging a maiden medal at the Olympics when he qualified for the 100-meter semi-finals race at the Tokyo Olympics after clocking a national record of 10.01 seconds behind Canadian Adre de Grace and American Fred Kelly, who settled for the first and second place respectively. Omanyala is Kenya's fastest man and he put his best foot forward on Saturday at the Tokyo Stadium. However, his compatriot and fellow sprinter Marco Tieno was withdrawn from the competition after earlier on testing positive for a banned substance on Saturday.
It distorts your mind because now you never know who is going to be removed next, so you gotta be careful not to be the one to be disqualified. You just want to run. The mind is free. You just want to go and run.
The Kenyan trio of Ferguson Rotich, Mike Saruni and Emmanuel Correll on Saturday morning is the men's 800-meter semi-finals at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics.
So there we have it. Ferdinand Omanyala has been sprung into the limelight after, now he's being termed as Africa's fastest man. But for most of this famous people, we don't always get to understand their journey, and for most of them, when you get to understand their journey, they're like, kumbe. It is only recently that he disclosed that, looking back to the recent times, he had been going through a lot of challenges, and especially financially, being broke, not having enough money to go for training. But by his right side, when alikuwa main hustle, side hustle, was his chick who was helping him foot the bills. She was taking care of all the bills, rent, supplies, utilities, nini, and even setting money aside for his training. And now, was it yesterday, he was given a brand new car, and an estimated 1.5 million Kenya shillings is just a token of appreciation. I don't know what you guys think about this. Victor?
Okay. First of all, Omanyala, congratulations. You're doing great. You're doing an amazing job, and we wish you all the best, even as you continue to put yourself to compete with the great men out there.
Yes.
Now, this calls for that particular phrase in the Bible, where God decided and said, for it's not good for a man to be alone, and therefore I will give him a helper, a companion, and all that. At this particular point, I think the lady played her role. Because it doesn't make her to be less of a woman to support the husband when the husband was at his lowest point in life.
Lakini yao ni boyfriend girlfriend bado.
Okay. Perhaps, maybe we don't know the level of their relationship, but...
no, as per the timings that he used,
yes,
he said, my girlfriend was there for me.
Exactly.
Now it's my turn to take care of her.
So the lady played her role, and those simple things actually make men to stick around. When the lady supported the guy, without any question, without any judgment, it gets into a mind cycle. It gets a man's mind and in his brain completely, and its heart, to appreciate the little things that we men do. All right? Okay. So, for example, the lady paid rent when Omanyala did not have that money. He wanted to go to activities, to go for training and all that. She did not judge him. But you know what? What goes around comes around. It is now her time to enjoy. And the guy said, when I did not have, she took care of me. Now it's now my turn to take care of her.
Okay.
Malipo inakwanga hapa.
Hata nilete my girl dem hapo hivi. Najua recently kumekuwa na hii conversation that for women mko na potential ya kuona, mko na hiyo foresight. Unaona potential ya mandem wako enye hata yeye mwenyewe haoni. And you find so many women are in such relationships. Mnavumilia for the long run until something finally comes through or life just flourishes. Tuanze na D, because I think Ray utatufungia hii ka story. Wewe ndio wa mwisho.
Let me just say, let me pick from what Omanyala said, because he said that now it is also my time to treat her right. And I think for me that was good, because again, there are those men who utakuwa by their side through their darkest times, in the thickest of things, but wakisha onekaniwa wanatafuta another alternative. So for this one, it was a good thing. And again, picking up from that thing of ladies kuona mbele, kuona mbali, that actually is a thing women can see. But also, just make sure you also don't get yourself so hooked up into that potential.
Unasahau reality.
Because you might end up living with potential for the rest of your life.
Okay. Ray, unaona potential, unasahau reality.
Very quickly, Ray,
potential mpaka iwe reality.
Disclaimer, Ray.
Very briefly, tuko na dakika mbili, Regina.
Regina, quickly, because I have to read a very comment on Facebook and Twitter. Very important for me to read it.
I think just read that comment, then you make some
Aya.
Hey. Aya. Regina Shasema, you know we always appreciate your feedback.
Yes.
On Twitter at KBC Channel 1, on Facebook the same. Let me just get that tweet. This is from Brian Mukasa, who says, "Good morning, team. The rain started beating us when we awarded tenders and paid upfront tenders to supply fuel to us. Now they are the largest retailers. We can't lead in Eastern Africa in fuel prices and everything." This is just going by what Ray was explaining to us earlier on as we're talking about those fuel prices. And on Facebook, we have John, who says, "Good morning, Doreen. Kindly pass my warm greetings to Jane." Na Jane, of late tumekuwa na messages mingi on Facebook especially, but this one is for you. My warm greetings to Jane. Tell her she's the reason why I tune into KBC. Wadosi ya kuongeze shilingi basi. Every single morning, and given a chance, I'd like to extend it further to getting to know each and every personality. Whatever it is she wants me to do for her to make it possible, aseme on air. Mandem amerusha words.
Anaitwa nani?
Huyu anaitwa John na amesema he is enjoying the show. He follows on, continues to say, "I will make you my full-time hustle." Someone called you side hustle. Someone is
trending
saying,
topic. That's part of the trending topic.
Can I speak
John,
now, Doreen?
John, unasemanga somangi message yako. Today I have read your message, John. I have. That's on Facebook, by the way.
Please, my turn. Me.
It's your turn.
My turn. Time is up. Where do we start from? From Ferdinand. Yes. The son of Pharaoh. Briefly. Who is saved. Who is saved, because we know sons of Pharaoh, not all of them actually would even recognize a woman's effort in their lives. Women, we are naturals by nature. We can see a potential a mile even before the man sees it, but very few men will acknowledge that a woman has walked that journey with them. Actually, what happens is that you hustle with the son of Pharaoh. When he gets on his feet, you will start seeing funny behaviors. Even other women will be brought to your homestead that there was blood and sweat for it. So Ferdinand, what he's done, said that he's going to, at least return the favor. Return the favor to the girlfriend who stood by him. Well, congratulations. That's a saved son of Pharaoh. But don't go thinking around that every son of Pharaoh is saved. There is potential and there is reality. Now, talking about John. Mandem, umetupa shot. Victor, when we began this conversation, this topic this morning, Jane was referred to as a side hustle. Thank you very much, John, who's been watching our show. Thank you very much. You want to make Jane is on your the right side of you want to make her your full-time hustle.
John,
tutashindana
hapo. But remember, I'm with her here every single day.
The man shot his shot on national television. And he did not take, hakukaa chini kufikiria kama Jane nusu mkate, alisema full blown. And he wants to learn all your personalities. Jane.
All right, guys, thank you so much. John, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate that you're always part of the show. It's a wrap. Like Toro, tupatane tena next week. Be sure to stay safe, social distance, mask up. Keep safe. Tupatane tena on Monday. I'm Jen Wambui on behalf of the crew. Tunawapenda. See you next week.
Full-time job.
Full-time job. John Honor. Full shot. John asikio waru.
Ay.
By the power given to me, I now declare Makoa na Roslyn as husband and wife. Makoa, you can kiss your bride.
Wow.
Wewe.
Ulisema hapo mbele, fisi ndio yuko na tamaa. Between mimi na huyu, nani fisi?
Na kwa nini wewe unakubali kwenda kupanga njama ya mtu mwingine atolewe roho kwa sababu wewe upate pesa?
Hatuko hata tumemaliza.
Alafu naye huyu mama pia huna hata haya mbele ya koti.
Huyu ya nyongo mheshimiwa.
Washtakiwa?
Huyu ya nyongo.
Kupitia uongozi wa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, serikali imewekeza zaidi katika ukarabati na upanuzi wa miradi ya unyunyiziaji maji mashamba kote nchini. Wiki hii kwenye Project 254,
we must empower our farmers with the information necessary to increase their output, reduce their unit cost of production, and therefore significantly improve returns on their investment.
Zamani tulikuwa tunapewa msaada wa chakula na siku hizi tunajitegemea sisi wenyewe.
Wametupatia kitu ya muhimu ambayo hakitakwisha. Kitu tutaendelea kuvuna, kila wakati tutaendelea kuvuna kutoka kwa hayo maji.